Hey everybody, this is Vagirnus, and welcome to the Takes podcast, episode 2, where we put the spotlight on chess streamers and hear about their journey. You can follow us on YouTube and Spotify. YouTube, you can watch us visually, so you can see us interact. And if you're interested in listening to us on Spotify, you can go to Take 6 podcast. You can look that up on Spotify and hear the whole episode out. And boy, do we have a banger today. We have a guest that we've been coordinating for the last week to try and get our time zones, but we finally got it happening. So I would like to introduce to you. I'm not gonna make this formal. I just kind of want to make it very casual. Chess streamer Diana Mirza. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I got it right. So I was a little nervous about saying it incorrectly, and I think that's gonna happen more in the future. But thank you for coming on the podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. So, like I ask everybody on the podcast, maybe you can share with us your chess journey, where it started, or how did you become like a competitive chess player, or just everything related towards chess.
Well, that's all right. That's gonna take a while.
We have time. I have hours stored up. We can break it down, and go from there.
Okay. Okay. I started. So I started playing chess when I was 5, I think. That's when I learned how to move the pieces. So my dad is a chess teacher in schools.
Oh, okay.
He teaches after school. So before he was a chess teacher, he was a PE teacher, and before that, a professional soccer player. So he was mainly into sports, but then when he retired from that, he got into chess.
When you say professional soccer player, are you talking about like world champion level,
No.
because I hear professional, I'm trying to figure out like what that entails, because I'm thinking like playing for like the national team, or
He didn't play for the national team, but he played for his city club, and then he got that's so I was born in Ireland, but my parents are Romanian, so he played his whole life, and then he played for a bunch of teams in Romania, and he then got a partnership in France, and then he then did like an exchange to Ireland. So
oh wow.
he was so he was playing soccer for a living, I guess.
Did he like when did he become professional? Like, because I know I have a I know someone who does chess coaching. I'm from Canada, and they're teaching like the under 17 groups, like both male and female. They went to like other countries to gain more chess, more soccer experience in coaching. And then there's kids that are like as young as 14, 15, like about to play for their national teams. What was his time when he became like a professional?
Uh, I'm not sure. I actually haven't talked to him too much about it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm well, probably around like I'm not sure. He was playing his whole life, so probably around like 20s he was already. So he left. He didn't finish his university course because he just went full into that.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so probably around 20. Yeah.
Cool. And he learned chess along the way, or did he learn chess after?
Well, chess in Romania is quite big, so I think you just learn either from your grandparents, or I think he learned mainly in the army. He was
Mm-hmm.
in the army, and he played there, and then he wasn't too serious about it until he came to Ireland in 2000, like 1999, and then he was quite a good player in Ireland because it wasn't as popular in Ireland to play chess,
Mm-hmm.
and he won some tournament. He won the majors in Bunratty. It's one of the biggest weekenders in the world, but now it hasn't been um, running for a few years now, maybe like 3 years since COVID. It hasn't been running.
Mm-hmm.
But he won a tournament there, and then now he's just. I mean, now he actually just plays chess full time. He goes around playing chess, but he's not. Maybe he's like 1500 or something. He's not a great player anymore. But he was probably like
Well,
2000
1500 is
maybe.
still pretty good. Like if you compare it from a from a global standpoint, like the
Yeah.
average.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, like the
But he's
average.
dropped
Yeah,
loads.
of course. Was he like an FM or in the
No. No. No.
past?
No. No. He wasn't. No. I think Um, he never took it too seriously.
Hmm.
He really enjoyed playing. And then he just happened to be good in Ireland, and that's how he started maybe his chess journey of being a chess teacher as well. And then he introduced me to the game. So he mainly focused on me getting good. He didn't really study himself.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting dynamic. Like he's teaching like the next you future of Ireland players, and then his own daughter doesn't want to play chess. Like that'd be like a tragedy. Like no, but no,
Well,
no,
I didn't have much choice.
no. I guess yeah. So did you like I don't know how. I'm not saying that we can recall memories when we're 5 or anything, but do you recall like falling in love with the game, or just that you fell in love with your dad teaching you the game? Like do you what was that first?
I can't. I actually can't remember. I think in general I've kind of blocked my chess memory since I was young, but
Hmm.
I just remember like a few years like when I first so I remember my first ever tournament. It was in Bunratty,
Hmm.
and I played in the minor section, and I think I was 9. Um, and my favorite part of the game was actually writing down the moves.
Your favorite
um,
part of the game?
yeah, I just liked making it so neat. So I would actually rewrite after I finished. If I made any mistakes or I didn't really like it, I would just rewrite the games. And my earliest memories of chess, I guess, were every night before I went to sleep, I would put a game from the new in chess books,
Hmm.
and he would say, okay, choose a game to look at, and then we would look over them. And yeah, so that's how I kind of started playing. And then when after school I would go to the school that he was teaching on was across the road from my school, and I would just walk over to there. And then I would play against the kids, but it wasn't as productive for me. I quickly just didn't play against them because I ended up just doing my homework instead, since it wasn't.
You sound like a good
Yeah.
student. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was more because there were so many kids in the class. He couldn't really. It wasn't as productive of a. It wasn't a productive learning environment, I don't think. Well, he was trying his best. Everyone was at different levels, so he was focusing on beginners mostly, and
Hmm.
I had already known how to play. Also, I would go in the summer. I would go to Romania, so um, I would go to different um camps and stuff like that, and that's how I got good when I was younger.
No, that makes sense. I know also a chess teacher too. Like I go to schools and do private groups, so I kind of know how. Mostly it's like beginners that are trying to learn, and you have to like split your time with them and make sure they're having fun and engagement. And then you find like
Yeah,
the very few that they know scholars made and they know what Sicilian is, and you're like, how do I kind of work with them? Because you want to get their talent going, like
yeah,
their ambition, but you also don't want to exclude any of the newer kids because they could just be like, you know, FMs or CMs in the way. They just need a little bit more motivation or just really enjoy it. So yeah,
yeah,
I get where your dad's coming from. Huh. That's
yeah.
cool.
He I think he was quite good for them. He also had this CD with Morris Ashley teaches chess,
What's a
and it had
CD? No, I'm kidding. uh,
um but that was quite fun. Everyone loved that,
mhm,
and he had like different puzzles that you had to do as an interactive one.
mhm.
So that was the thing that got the kids excited for class. And he would also then he taught in a few different schools, and he would mix it with uh, in a boys' school he would play soccer with them, after like they would do 30 minutes of chess and then he'd be like, okay, then we can go outside and just play football.
Yeah, I think that's such a very good dynamics where nowadays we're having screens as kind of like an assisted tool for teaching chess for like every range, but in the old days, like back at our times, we had to interact actually with other people and be
Yeah.
social and actually hold chess pieces. I remember I met a kid. I think it was a week ago. He's like, "This is the first time I ever held a chess piece before,"
No.
and he's like 1,400 ELO online. And I'm thinking to myself, "How is this possible? How do
Oh
you not have
no.
hold a single piece?" He didn't even know how to move properly. It was like I taught him how to move in a blitz game, but with a
That's so
mouse,
funny.
yeah, he can do it quite easily.
That's funny.
So you've had a so in the early days you've had pretty much a coach, like with your dad. You had exposure to chess lessons from kids and playing socially. So you could say that you had a really good chess upbringing.
I did.
Mm.
I was really lucky. And then when I started playing in World Youths and Europeans, I had a long-term coach, um, Gerge, who he was also Nemo's coach and Alexander Botez's coach. So
Oh yes,
yeah,
I forgot that Alexander Botez are a Romanian.
yeah.
Yeah, so you have like this
Well, he's
weird
actually the Canadian Olympia team coach. He was
you have this weird connection
the
with Canada,
women's.
or it's not that weird, but like
Yeah.
so maybe we can talk a little bit about um, how does one get onto like the national team? And to be fair, I'm not even sure of the process because like I'm not anywhere of that. When I was young, I was never. So I had a slightly different upbringing where my dad taught me at the age of 4. Fell in love with the game. Around 7, he couldn't beat me anymore, and he didn't know that there were chess resources out there to like get me into like clubs or be exposed to. And I don't like the chess scene in Canada is like it's like our Canadian national men's team. We finally made it to the Worlds, but we're like 20 years behind everybody else in football. Canada is like we have our presence, we have GMs, we have a lot of kids that love chess, but we don't have that infrastructure like European countries or like Russia, India, etc. So I think we're still going in the right direction. But yeah, I didn't have any exposure to a coach for like forever. I never really had a coach, so I had to self taught myself and play chess online and play Chess Master 4000. I remember, that I don't. Do you remember like Chess Master 4000? You had like a wizard with like a blue cloak and he's like holding a chess piece and there's like a light bulb. That was on a CD. That was on the image, and he installed that into like my very very slow like Pentium 286 laptop, and he had to teach me how to type cdcommand.com or like to run the executable so I could play Chess 4000. That was like my main tool. I didn't know how to analyze. I just kept playing against pawn pushers or all the different styles, and but yeah, I didn't have exposure to kids when I was younger. And I would have really enjoyed that. But yeah, so
Yeah.
world champion. So how does one get into the national team? Like, how does that work?
So I guess you play in the um national championships and they choose so selections was done based on rating. Um and we don't have separate women's national championships or
Mm-hmm.
open. We just have one open. And I guess if you win that if you win that, you're not necessarily on the team, but mostly whoever won that was um on the team, like whichever age group. And I guess growing up now there are a lot more women playing, and I'm not um actually maybe like I'm sixth or something now. But when I was younger, I was always I was actually a lot of the times like the only girl that played, and then a few other girls started playing.
So how was
Um,
that dynamic? Like, what age were you when you were playing in these in? I guess like we'll call it the qualifier tournament.
yeah, like the national championships,
Yes.
like the under. So probably under 10s. I can't even remember when. So Alice, I think she started playing maybe. I can't remember, but under 10s, I was there. Maybe there were like one or two other girls, but they weren't maybe competing for the title.
Hmm.
But I remember when I was so under 10s, I wanted to. Well, I was competing to come first. And I mean, I never actually felt like it was weird because I went to a mixed school, and when I was training with, I also my dad taught in an all boys school, and I was the only girl there, but I never felt that was weird.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hadn't experienced any sexist maybe comments or anything like that until I played in open tour. I experienced it when I got a little bit older. But when I
Hmm.
was younger, I didn't feel like it was different. No one really treats you that differently when you're younger, I don't think.
Yeah, and it is, I feel like it's that kind of youthful innocence.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that's a topic we could talk about later because I that's like a huge like problem that's not being exposed enough. Maybe you can give some insights from like like from what you've know and but yeah, yeah, subject we'll lock that in for for future convo. But so wait, at the age of 10, like what was your FIDE rating at that time? Like
I don't think I had a FIDE rating then, but I think my first FIDE rating was maybe 1700
at
when I
10?
was 12. When I was 12, I think I was 12.
Wow, that's so high. At 12.
Yeah, but I've only grown like 200 points since
Oh
then
no
in
no no
like
no! Don't say
12 years.
that.
12 years.
Well, hold on. Like, we can get to that topic later. But well, so at the age of 12, so I guess what was the minimum rating to even be able to play for the national team, or is there any like official rating?
Um, well, I don't think there's no minimum. You just want to be the highest in your category. So one boy and one girl from each age group, under 10s up until under 18s, um get to represent the country,
Hmm.
yeah, in whatever country it's hosted, and you get to choose between one European or one Worlds
Oh, you
to
get the.
get it paid for.
Oh, okay. So you have an option.
Well, yeah, you have an option, but yeah, you can't do both. Um, and then you have to cover your flights. So I think, yeah, I think FIDE pay for the accommodation and food, and you have to cover your flights. So what we did most of the time is we hosted fundraisers, like maybe quizzes at my school, or something on a club night.
Hmm.
Uh, and then that helped to fund my um my flights.
Do you think this is? I actually never heard of fundraising before, but maybe again because I'm just not part of that scene. Is that something common for um, chess players to try and afford these type of flights to play in these big opportunity type events?
I haven't seen it done in Ireland before. I think I was the only one at the start because, well, actually, maybe now a lot more players are joining, but when I was younger, I felt like I was the only one that didn't come from a wealthy family.
Ah,
Um,
gotcha.
so my parents, yeah, well, we just grew up. My mom, uh, actually, she didn't work when I was younger, but then she started, and my dad was just a chess teacher after school.
Hmm.
Um, so we didn't have the biggest income, but so everything kind of went into my chess, into coaching or um, going to tournaments. Uh, but I know that there are loads of people that do fundraisers for events. Especially there was one girl from the US who wanted to fundraise her uh, the World Youths or something. Um, and flights were much more expensive from there because it
Hmm.
was somewhere in Europe. but I remember that was the first time when I saw someone else doing it. But for me, I guess once or twice I fundraised, like flights were maybe 1,500 when the World Championships were in Uruguay and in Brazil.
Is that like
But other
American,
than
the flights? Sorry, I'm just trying to know. I don't know the currency.
oh, sorry, 1,500 euro.
Oh my god, my head hurts. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So those were the most expensive probably because they were outside of Europe. Other than that, they're like we were trying to raise maybe like 500 or
Mm-hmm.
something. Um, so we would go to different shops and ask if they had maybe a spot prize, and then I remember hosting two like general knowledge like pub quizzes in a school in my old school.
So, can you explain at the pop quizzes, like how would that work? That's very interesting.
So I mean, you pay. I guess you pay for a table, and you bring your friends, and then we had my dad's friend was the quiz master, and we picked out a few questions, and we had the prizes, and then
Oh,
if you won a round, you would that table would go up and pick a prize. Then we also had a raffle. So um,
I'm taking notes
we
about it while mentally while I'm hearing this.
Oh, right. It's actually, I think it's quite a good idea because they're really fun and
Yeah.
they're not too, yeah, you can choose. I mean, the more expensive the prizes are, I guess, the more the tickets can be, and it's an enjoyable experience for everyone.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it right now because it doesn't. When I think of quizzing, now of course we're corrupted in this because we're all thinking tactics, right? Like 99% of the time, but it doesn't have to be tactics at all. It could be something simple as like how many queens can you have maximum in the game with white,
Oh,
stuff like that.
there was no chess questions. We didn't have any chess questions.
Oh, so what type is it? Just
It was just general knowledge.
oh my god, what? I thought it was all gonna be chess themed. That would have been
No. Well, I mean, I think we
oh
had maybe one round of just chess, but no, it was just general knowledge because
okay.
the people who were coming there, we were trying to. It was like parents of kids that were in my school or my dad's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, no, okay. So I'm actually more familiar with this because I thought it was strictly chess, and
No,
I'm like that would
no,
have been kind of cool because get all these people in, ask them like how many knights can you put in on a board without being checking each other, like stuff
no.
like that trip,
Well,
like
that's quite funny. Yeah,
yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
I've there's actually locally, so I'm from Toronto, and um, I'm gonna give her a quick shout out. Quizmaster Jess. She does trivia nights at a bar, where good drinking and stuff. But she'll do different themes, and she sells out every time she does it. She does Family Guy. She does Star
That's so
Wars.
good.
She does Lord of the Rings. She does Mean Girls. Like all of these different ones. And funny enough, there was a time where I was there with my best friend, and Grandmaster Eric Hansen, right? From the Chess
Oh yeah,
Bros. Yeah, so
yeah.
I knew him for like a little bit because I was a big supporter of their stream. Still am, of course. Like about 4.5 years ago. But he recently moved to Toronto, probably a year ago. Maybe it's less than a year ago now. They were all the way, I think, in Calgary or somewhere off on the west side. And I remember I was sitting there in trivia night, just like first time, enjoying this, and there was Eric Hansen, and I was just like, I just said hate him, and I was completely shocked because I'm like, what is he doing here? But yeah, he does trivia night. So one day,
Oh,
yeah, it was really fun, and I came to, I was chatting with him, and I think he was with his partner at that time, and he invited me to come to trivia night for Star Wars because I was on May the 4th, which happens to be my birthday.
oh.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because then I came over, then best friend came over too. But in the meantime, it was him, his partner, and I. We were just like going at trivia questions. We didn't do that well. Like I'm very knowledgeable, but that was a tough crowd. We got like I'm a nerd, but we got nerds at the highest level. Like we have like GM nerds. Like I'm like I couldn't handle all
Yeah,
that from this, and I know Star Trek. Like I'm actually more of a Star Wars. Sorry, it was a Star Wars. Did I say Star Trek? I say Star
yeah.
Wars theme general questions. I know more Star Trek than Star Wars. We got destroyed. It was still a good time. He gave me a mug. Droid, happy birthday. Yeah, no, it was a great time. So
That
I
sounds good.
yeah, so I'm thinking that what you're doing, I'm like, yeah, that's way more. Actually, I think it's probably even more popular now to do these type of things because people love that human contact. And
Yeah.
oh, that's a good memory. You just popped out of my head.
Yeah, that was a good fundraiser. And then
Hmm.
we also at then when I was in secondary school, we wore uniforms. So we have this thing sometimes called colored day,
Yes,
where
dress down day we call it.
yeah, where you can choose. I mean, you can wear whatever you want, but you have to pay €2. And then that was fundraising, um, for I think it was 2013. So that was actually in the UAE. Um,
Oh, okay. You've oh,
yeah,
okay. You've been around a lot, everywhere.
yeah. I played almost all the World Championships since I was 10.
Wow. Oh, I can only imagine how that feels. That's so much competitive tournament experience at the highest level. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
wow.
why I've kind of, well, I haven't necessarily stopped playing because I'm still trying to get on the Olympiad team. It's the first year
Hmm.
where I'm not guaranteed a spot. Um,
Oh,
so
so you have to actually put some fire and work in
yeah,
to
and
grind out.
that I think that's like a big thing that has hindered my chess. That's why I never maybe pushed myself to get um but stronger. But when I was younger, because I was good so young, I never really needed to
Hmm.
put much effort in, and there wasn't much competition for me. Only in recent years, like maybe in the past 5 years, um, there was competition, and yeah, I always felt the pressure, but I also maybe didn't have a huge love for it because um it didn't always come from me. Like I was pushed to do it, and there was just a lot of pressure. And there were many times where I felt that like I wasn't able to do things that I did want to do. Like I missed a few things from school and a lot of things from my friends, or I had to give up other things like basketball or drama.
Hmm.
So my whole life was just chess. So I had a very complicated relationship with it. But when I got to travel, I did have a lot of like some of the best memories of my life. Like I have my closest friends are all chess players.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it has also brought me a lot of great things.
No, absolutely. Can we talk about the pressure you went through as a emerging and literally a competitive, like top player in Ireland? Or because I think most people listening to this will never understand that. Even myself, I can only imagine like trying to put myself in your shoes, but I'll never truly understand like that type of pressure. Maybe you can really talk to us about it, like how it started, um, how it shaped you a little bit in terms of, or maybe it didn't shape you, but like obviously you just said that you've uh, other opportunities that you wish you could pursue or have fun with, you weren't able to do it as much. But yeah, I really want to hear about that.
uh, well, it's weird because I'm so far away from that now that
Hmm.
I can I can't feel the emotions that I did feel before, but it was very intense because well, so um getting selected maybe wasn't that um it wasn't the main problem. Like I didn't feel that much pressure. Well, I wanted to win it outright. I wanted to win the national championships um overall, and I only managed to do that once. So I've come second and third plenty of times. And in 2016, I managed to win it outright, which was one of the biggest achievements for me, I think, when I was younger.
Congratulations.
Um, but I never, well, not that I never was able to enjoy it fully, but there was always something else. And constantly, my dad was like comparing me to the top
See,
players
that's
from
why
like
I knew there was something there,
other
but I wanted to hear
other
it.
countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um I mean, in Ireland as well, I was compared, but there weren't maybe much to compare to. But then, for example, Abdul Malik from Kazakhstan, who always won the World Youths for us, and then uh, loads like Mamadzada, just right now they're the top players in the world. But when I was younger, I even got like chances to play against them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I, I was always like, yeah, if I would have maybe enjoyed it, I could have done a little bit better, but I was always rebelling against it. So the pressure got to me. Not that it got to me so much that my dad was putting so much pressure on me that I was kind of like not studying on purpose
Mm-hmm.
to um to not maybe keep going. And I know like I wanted to give up when I was younger, but I never had. Well, I wasn't allowed to mainly, but I was always like, oh, but I've already put so much time in. So it's always been just a constant of kind of doing nothing, but doing a little bit.
This is interesting. Let me ask you this. So, between your mom and dad, I'm assuming your dad was kind of like the forefront to like,
Yeah,
he was like the chess person, like the chess
yeah.
parent. I feel, do you think that your dad was sort of living his life through you as you
Yeah,
being like,
that's what a lot of people have
okay,
said.
that's what I was wondering about that because I think that's more common in general because I'm thinking like so in Canada hockey is a really big
Yeah.
like it's like our birthright even though it's not our national sport. I think it's our national sport is lacrosse, I believe it or not. But Canada's known for men and women for winning gold medals, whether it's the Worlds or Olympics in Canada. Like we own it. We're still number one for now. Um, but I feel that when kids are learning hockey, um, there's an actual um, there's an actual like theme of calling parents like the hockey dad and mom and kind of like making them like super determined players and kids and then going at other parents like being like really aggressive and that sort of thing and that can really turn off a kid who was originally playing for the love of the game but is now kind of getting all this surmountable pressure and
Yeah.
work ethic and like I'm only like 7 years old, man. Like they can't even say that in their head because they're just being told what to do and do and do and when you're saying that to me, I'm kind of like maybe that's it. Like again, I don't want to assume that's why I can ask those questions, but it was starting to feel like maybe it was they were trying to live and feel like the glory and pride of your kid is achieving, but also I could I'm part of that achievement. I can talk to others, stuff like that about it, and and then sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And um he also like did put everything into it that
Mm.
um maybe when I wasn't doing so well, he would get like annoyed about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's he also like both my parents, I mean, grew up in a different time. They grew up in Romania during communism, and he was like treated also a lot like way harsher than me as well by his family. So
Mm-hmm.
he had that experience, and then um to he I think he just thought it was for the best, and that the more pressure and like maybe um just that kind of parenting, the better it was for me. Uh, so yeah, I think yeah he tried his best, but it was definitely not good for chess because it's so different from other sports. Also, he came from a sporting like from soccer background, which is different because you can take it out, you can just run and take out your anger on it. But when you're
Oh
sitting at
yes,
the
you
board,
can. You can just
yeah,
you can hip check them, or can't do that. Imagine you could do that in
yeah.
chess. You just like take out anger, throw a pawn at them.
Well, you can do chess boxing.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Hey, we have the world champion in our city, Mr. Aman.
Really?
Well, Aman
Oh,
is
that's
like
cool.
he is the number one technically. Even Carlson said it
Oh,
in his interview here. in Toronto.
That's cool.
That was funny.
Uh,
But yeah, no, chess boxing. I think that actually could become something. That's a
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that has always been something that I would like to take up, but I messed up my
chess
knee.
boxing. You want to do that?
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Well, I think that's yeah. Well, wow, we're like switching topics to chess, but I would do that too. Like I'm a decent like I have a bit of a martial arts background, but
Oh, that's
boxing's a
cool.
yeah, but boxing's a whole other beast, and
Yeah.
I would have to jog every day nonstop just to stay up and. Well, actually, I was thinking, GM Canty.
Yeah.
We actually met in Toronto twice now, and we were talking about because I was watching a stream about fitness, and I was thinking about doing half streaming on chess and half streaming going to the garage and lifting because there's a gym there.
Yeah, you can
Um,
definitely do that.
yeah, maybe I just haven't like pulled the trigger yet, but like I would just get my phone, like I don't even know how to do it yet, and like set it up to just run live on Wi-Fi, and just have me as an accountability thing to like watch like fat chess streamer getting fit or something like that, and it'll be yeah, who knows what? That might be my next idea.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, yeah, you can even I do well, I did it a few days ago, but I've done a few times I've done workout videos.
Oh,
Just
okay.
yeah, and then people can join in if they want, but it's mainly to keep me motivated.
Yeah, I feel like I know my weaknesses too now, and I know that for me, it's for certain things it's like accountability, and it's hard for me to be accountable from a not like it's easy. I feel like if you have like a 9 to 5 job, whether you're in like your field or just a job in general, that accountability comes from doing your job, your boss telling you what to do, stuff like that. But me being like a full time chess person, it's harder to do it when it's for yourself only. I
Yeah.
find that's a big challenge. But if I can, excuse me, trick myself to having someone accountable or having something like making me accountable, then I'm going to do it more likely. Like me making myself more accountable to going on Twitch. I have to get rid of that mental block and be like, you know what, Matt, just go out there and do your thing. And you have a good personality. You'll make some fun and connect with viewers, and like how I used to do years ago. So but the problem is, if you don't do it every day, then
Yeah,
it's not going to
that's
work out.
true. Yeah.
Um,
But it's tough, especially when you take breaks. Like I've been streaming for so many years now, but I did take like almost a year-long break last year, and it took me a long time to get back into it.
yeah, I'm feeling that way too. Like I remember I started my YouTube channel 6 years ago, and I got so lucky with the first episode I did. I put it on Reddit, and I don't know how um, it just hit the right amount, but I had over almost 300 subscribers just from the first video. Like
Oh, that's good.
complete like air. It was just talking about my time of how I got back into competitive chess because from 18, like I'm 35 now, but from 18 to 29, I stopped playing tournaments for 11 years.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and to be fair, I feel like
Oh,
if I had a coach when I was younger, I think I'd be an FM easily.
yeah,
Maybe an IM because I was really good when I was younger. But
and you probably enjoyed it loads.
yeah, it's my dad just did it the right way. Like I remember he held a chess piece like a pawn, and like I don't know how I have this memory, but and I remember holding it, and I would just go like and like on the board, and then that was his view of like, oh, you know what, maybe I can get him into chess because he was teaching me piano too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I still love piano, even though I suck at it now. But it's like it's one of those things you can just get the rust off, and you can get back into it. I was decent at piano too, but with chess, so I'm the complete opposite of your childhood, where I was self-taught. I did everything by myself. I would like obviously at 8, 9, and 10, I would just keep playing my dad, and I didn't discover anything. And then I think it was 11. And this changed my whole life. I went to a computer summer camp because my dad wanted to show me how to use like Visual Basics for programming. So I'm in this. I'm waiting for the class to start. The guy comes in. He heard that I love chess, so he's like, "Yeah, the class will start in 5 minutes. In the meantime, why don't you go play some chess?" And I'm like, do you mean play chess? He's like, oh, there's a website called Yahoo, and they have something called Yahoo Games where you can play chess there. And I was like, oh, okay. And he shows me this, and it's like an interface where you can like click a table and then like play someone, and it has a chat room function where people are just chatting. And I became extremely addicted to it.
Oh no.
But it was kind of cool because I also started interacting with people that, well, I'm like a minor, right? And I'm talking to literally adults
Yeah.
of every age. But some of the conversations were kind of cool, and I think I think it actually helped grow my like emotional intelligence because I'm just listening to things. And yeah, it'll be the random person that swears. I don't know, I just kind of brushed it off. But I was playing chess, and I was like 1100 ELO, and I remember taking like 2 years to get to like 1300. You have like a blue icon beside your name, and when you hit purple, you're 1500. And then when you're orange, you're 1800, and then when you're red, you're 2100. And I remember over time that would just get better and better because I was
Oh,
just obsessed playing chess online. So
what year? What year was this?
probably over 20 something years ago, in the late 90s or early
Oh,
90s.
okay.
Yeah, Yahoo Chess was really popular. Like, or sorry, Yahoo Games was very popular. Now it's like
Hmm.
not existent, but it was all because of. So that's how I got my reps in, and then in Toronto we have something called the Toronto Star, where every Sunday they posted an article of chess. Grandmaster Lawrence Day, he's an IM, and he would write an article about an event happening. Maybe it could have been one of your games. Who knows? Happening
No,
around
I
the
don't think
world. Oh, you never know. It was some of them were championships and all that stuff. And I would barely understand the article, but I
so.
would remember they would show a tactic, and I would learn how to solve it on the board. And then some of the games, I would try and play it out, and 90% of it I wouldn't understand, but then I would understand like maybe one little sequence, and I kept doing that over and over for years. I would have all these cut out of articles. I would kind of put in like a book, and I have like 3 books full of articles. As a kid, I was just obsessed with chess. I loved it.
Wow, that's cool. That was what my dad was doing.
Yeah, I know.
you,
Maybe
you
I'm sure
wish.
every parent, if you're listening to this right now on YouTube or Spotify, you can all connect to this moment.
Yeah, he would always give me like, and if you ever found it cut out in a newspaper, he would give it to me like it to solve or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, he did that a lot.
So continue on. So you're playing in the at 10. You win the tournament, or did you? I'm assuming you qualified.
No,
The turn.
yeah. So I mean, I was already qualified even if I didn't play because there wasn't any other girl
Oh, okay,
that
gotcha.
was yeah. Um and yeah, so my first world championship was in Greece. Actually that's where I met Andrea.
Hey.
But um but and because my dad is friends with her dad, so we hung out a bit. And then yeah, that was actually like quite fun. Um, I remember like the highlight of that tournament was playing table tennis with all. Actually, I think Anna Maya was also there.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, we just played table tennis, or I didn't. Yeah, I don't even remember. Actually, like a Mongolian player won it that year.
Mhm.
And now she's incredibly strong now as well. Um,
How strong? Like she
but
like IM level or?
yeah, I think she's at least 2400.
That's
She's very
strong.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that was I didn't feel. I mean, during during the tournament, I probably did feel pressure, but I don't. Looking back, I don't think it was as bad. Um, I was like excited to eat the food, but always like so. My dad was with me at that tournament, and then when I got a bit older, he didn't come with me anymore. Um, but I always had not really strict schedule, but I had a schedule, so I would have to be in bed at a certain time, and there was some things that I wasn't allowed to eat. I wasn't allowed to eat like spaghetti and
Oh my
and
god, your
chips.
nourishment was also you're being trained like an athlete, like a professional. Well, you
Yeah,
are
my
you are a
dad took it
professional
serious.
athlete. That's true,
Yeah.
right? You're at the playing at the world level, but oh my, like I understand the schedule is like a key to success. Like I think routines are even especially for adults that we need them or we'll
Yeah.
fall off. But for a kid, oh my god, you're gonna be the
Yeah, and I
next.
had to do exercise. There was, I mean, it was probably like annoying, but I also didn't yeah, I was kind of upset, especially with the chips. I was upset because I wanted more chips. I remember he let me once. He was like, "Okay," but if you see these tournaments, it's so funny because like they'll
Mhm.
come out like there's so many good foods there. Like this was in Greece. There was like even octopus. There were so many.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there is a lot of great foods, but always the kids go for the chips, and they would like the second they come out with the tray and like refill the station, they're gone in like 2 seconds, and everyone just runs there.
Hey man,
So it's always like that.
they could probably save like 35% of their food budget if they just put one of
Yeah,
the chips.
definitely. Um,
Very
yeah,
strategic
but
thinking of them.
yeah, it's quite. It's funny that it's just the food that all the kids go to get.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually just have blocked out most of my most of my chess memories because like after the the worst thing for me was that I was more scared to lose than I wasn't ever really able to play the game like like I do now.
Oh, I
Like
see.
now
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
see what you
playing,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, now when I'm playing, doesn't really matter if I lose. And then I've been doing better now than I ever have been before. But it's only in the past year or 2 years. It's taken a lot of detachment to be able to play a chess game properly. And online, like I don't care about I actually wasn't allowed to play online when I was younger even.
That
Um
kind of makes sense because it could actually
yeah.
affect your game if you're playing like bullet or blitz if you don't know how
Yeah.
to like switch the modes in your mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can sort of get it. Yeah.
But I mean I don't actually think it's that bad for you maybe.
No,
Um
not like now. If we have a stronger, like I think for the undisciplined chess player, it can actually cause problems. But
yeah.
I think for someone at your level, or like even me, I'm like similar to your rating. Like I know when to turn it off. I know when to go from bullet to blitz to long game rapid, and use my time like to allocate it. Like it's not. It's like
Yeah.
it's definitely a skill, but it doesn't impact my game whatsoever. At
Yeah.
least I don't think it does. um,
Yeah. I don't think actually I think it's it's good to get into it. Like if I was younger, if I were to like start teaching, well, I mean, I actually do teach, but I do encourage. Okay, I don't think you should play bullet or,
yeah,
um,
no.
yeah, I don't think you should
If you
play
got a
bullet,
chess coach,
but I
don't
would,
play bullet. Yes.
yeah, but I would encourage you to play, like at least 10 minutes
Yes, I
chess. Yeah.
completely agree. Actually, we can talk about that whole coaching part later. But I actually want to. You brought up a very interesting point about losing, and I want to really
Yeah.
I want to talk about this because it's like I have my ideas too, and I think I could sense that we're very similar in our thinking on this because chess technically is very good at teaching how to lose.
Yeah.
Because now we're in a time where people are having meltdowns, losing, and being like ungrateful and like I like outbursts. I even now even at kids like when I do arbitering, like judging, I'll see these outbursts of kids like losing positions and stuff. Where chess originally should be teaching you how to lose because there's always gonna be someone weaker than you and there's always gonna be someone stronger than you, and it's always about like keeping your head high, shaking hands, saying good game, reviewing, or just knowing that you can win. You're still gonna win over time, but and then there's the pressure of like losing because of your rating or losing because you're just a very fierce competitive player that with like the mentality of you want to win every game. But I feel like when you just mentioned like that type of pressure, that's not very common, I feel. So I want you to
I
I
think
want you to
it's
tell us
more
your whole your
common.
yeah. I want to tell all your thoughts about losing because I think this itself is a topic.
um. Well, I actually do think it's more common. Maybe nowadays it's not any more common, but most of my friends have had the same experience where their parents were just putting a lot of pressure on them. And I mean, there's all kinds of things like, oh, my parents spent so much money to like bring me here, so much time investment and stuff like that, and then um, you also want it for yourself a little bit, but uh, it's yeah. Well, so I guess I'm not really sure how to explain it, but
Mhm.
um, I think ho so the question is like, how do I look at losing?
So I'll give you an example. So you're playing in a like you said you're performing better than you ever have, and I think it's
Now, yeah,
yeah, and I think it's because like if you lose, you lose. Like
yeah,
we're playing like 12-year-olds that have like engines and stockfish that we're gonna lose now more because they're growing and be more precise, be more accurate. Um, but 10, 15 years ago, you've had different type of pressures on you that from like a that are not necessarily coming from inside you. Like they're like
yeah,
external stuff, and I think most people don't have that issue. They have it from internally, which they can regulate and deal with, or maybe not be able to deal with their own way. But I feel like if anything external, I feel like that's just much heavier, or more paralyzing. I guess I'm trying to see it that way.
yeah. Um, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know any difference, so I'm not sure if it would be because there's other. I mean, I can imagine that you can also put the same amount of pressure on yourself, and it could manifest the same way that it did for me from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you care so much about the game, or I mean, I still have that. I still have that anyway. Now, like, well, I actually drew, but which I still in my head consider it a loss because I missed a mate in two, and I was just so
Oh, I know.
annoyed about
I
it.
know that feeling.
But
It's happened.
it ruined my whole tournament. The rest of
Oh,
my tournament, I just
yeah.
couldn't stop thinking about it, and it was like I've stopped crying after my losses, but now I'm get like way more angry. When I was younger, I would cry a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have like now it's more for myself. I'm not really scared about what my dad is going to say. Um, but I still have not the same emotions, but I still get emotional with my games, but now it's more depending like how the game goes. So if I lose and I feel like I played a good enough game and I did my best and I didn't really miss anything like extreme,
Yep.
then I'm not really that upset about it. But have if I lose something like stupid like that, where
Yes.
I've missed a made into those trivial, then I am gonna be very mad about it. So it depends like how I lose now. Or even yeah, it depends how I lose. How I win, I guess I do get really happy about my wins if I have felt I played a good game, but if I get really lucky, yeah. So but I don't think that the happiness of the win outweighs the anger of the losses.
In I guess it depends on the context, right? Like I think I generally agree, but I think it also depends on like if you're like let's say a 1900 you beat a grandmaster. I think that win is going to be better than every loss.
Yeah, okay,
Like
of course, yeah.
something
Sure.
like I remember when you said Maiden 2, I think it was Maiden 4 after I checked, but I remember it was I was in Ottawa. It was the 2019 RA Ottawa Open, and in my first round, I was in the open section. So I'm like around at that time I was like 1980. But I think I was like around like 2050 real strength. I didn't have time to get up to my rating there cuz I told you I was away for 11 years. So when I finished at 28, I was 1749, but I was beating like 19, 2000, 2100 players for fun when I was around 28. So I knew it was stronger than my rating.
Yeah.
So I remember I played a 2200 and I got into a winning position and I completely lost a maiden four. And I remember being so upset, not because I screwed up, which is common for me in tournament settings, but I knew there was a chance that I think it was like a 50-50 chance that if I won that game, I would have played a GM, which I've never played a GM in my life.
Oh,
And I don't know if like I'm sure you've played GMs before in tournaments, but for me, who doesn't get a chance to play, I still never played a GM to this very day in a classical. I played IMs before. Actually, only one IM now I think about it. But yeah, that one GM, I really wanted to play him. Get
yeah.
destroyed, of course, but or you never know. You never know. There's always a shot. But I was just upset. I was like demoralized, and I think I went like 1 for 5 in that tournament because I was
Oh
I was
no.
tilted beyond belief, and I had a maiden four. I played such a good. I had such a good
Yeah.
opening. I played Maroxy Bind Sicilian, and he didn't know how to play against that. And I just got all his space and just pushed slowly, converted advantage, and missed the maiden four because I was. I think I was down like a minute on time. It was like 90-30. I'll never forget that because I remember just looking at table one. Baitor's there. Yeah, that was the Grandmaster. He's a really well respected player here, and I wanted to go at him 1-on-1 because I watch all his games. Yeah, it was like my own one only shot at playing a GM, and most likely I'll probably never play a GM again, but or even have a chance again. But it still
Yeah.
burns me to this
I
day.
mean, yeah, I mean, it will until you get another, like a worse loss. And then you'll that's the only way that, well, it's not like you don't get over it, but you just have a worse thing to get annoyed about. So hopefully you don't get any worse than that. But it happens all the time.
I did. You want to hear the worst one? I can tell you one. It actually happened very recently. I was playing in a tournament. It's in Newmarket, and I lost to a 1461.
I mean, that's fine.
But I lost to myself because I had a +2 winning position, and I miscalculated the mate, and I immediately lost. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, good job, Matt." But yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
but that's not too
yeah,
bad.
yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, it's like, you know what? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
As long as I don't drop below 1800, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but then even if you do, you'll just get back up.
Yeah, I don't. I definitely am not as competitive as I used to be. Because I'm more doing other chess avenues. Like I love arbiting. Like I really want to be an international arbiter. Because
Do you really love it?
sorry,
Do you really love it?
I
I
love.
always
Oh, so I can.
wondered about arbiters.
Oh, I can talk to you about it. So, I used to work. Like I had a career in another field, and I'll talk about. So I had a career in security, like physical security, but it went from like the guard level to a manager level. And due to some circumstance that I won't reveal it now, but maybe one day on YouTube I'll make a video of why I'm doing this and why I'm pursuing it full time. I wanted to follow my passion in chess, but at the time I didn't know how to make real money in it because it looked very dubious from the outside. And even now, it's still really tough to try to like create
Yeah.
yourself and build your brand and like do all these different avenues of chess. But I found that one way, like I knew that in the back of my mind, I couldn't teach chess for the rest of my life, just only teaching chess because it wouldn't be engaging enough for me. And I had a lot of skill sets that I had from the previous career, like management, um, like strong powers of like investigative or observation skills needed for that field. And someone told me about arbitring, and I realized that you know arbitring might be, or it's not might be, it would be one thing I would love to pursue because like I love tournaments. Like tournaments is like, and I again as a competitive player, like I love the thrill of like going to a tournament, looking people up, talking to your homies, looking at finding your opponents, looking up their openings, like try and like come up with that game plan. But I love like to me, arbitring is so, it's one of those positions where you can't make a single mistake. Like these are people's
Yeah.
livelihoods. And I love that pressure because I'm very good at dealing with that type of pressure. And to me, arbitring is a challenge. Like even I'm officially an NA arbiter, which is like a national ranked arbiter. I'm not a FIDE arbiter yet. I need a couple more norms to get that. But I love that type of like we work as a team. 95% of the time everything goes smoothly, But it's that 5% that you better be on your ball, and you need to know like all these different rulings and all these different scenarios. And to me, I just like the challenge of it. There is a little bit and maybe I only experienced this from a Canadian perspective, but there is a bit of a feeling of respect that you get from other players and family members when you're talking to an arbiter. And I think that's kind of cool too, because I need, again, in my right now what I'm doing, I'm not really managing anything. I'm just kind of like managing myself. So I kind of like that type of responsibility as an arbiter, and it's kind of cool. But to me, I feel like I would love to figure out how to travel with chess. And I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go to different tournaments. Maybe I will one day. Like US is very easy, accessible for me. But the thought of maybe going to like a country like Spain or etc. and then arbitrating that tournament, like being an IA and being exposed to that, I think that would be one path of a career that I would love in chess. Like something
Okay,
that
you can. I'm sure you can. You can experience that. You can achieve that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I like the arbiting thing because it's a challenge. It's a very different type of challenge. It's like, how do you keep everything from chaos and just I don't know. There's something about it that it just draws to me. Like I remember I used to do volunteering as a judge for like my tournaments. Like I run a chess club here locally, and maybe I always liked that type of that judging aspect. I know it
That's
sounds
interesting.
I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on arbiters too, because if you make a mistake or I'm sure there's even scenarios I haven't even thought of that you've probably experienced as a player or witnessed someone go through.
Yeah. Sure. But you also, I mean, you always have, I guess, people around you that can like step in if you aren't sure of something.
Yeah, like there's like so the normal like I've been a chief arbiter before, but nothing for like a big nothing big or anything. Like I would say like less than 100 people tournament.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like the normal thing is like you have like floor arbiters, sector arbiters. There's like a kind of like a chain hierarchy where if you're not sure of something, just mention very respectfully to each player. And then you're not sure, let me bring someone with the right experience to figure it out. And of course, there's always going to be an appeals process. Like they can appeal right to the chief arbiter. They give a ruling, and then if they don't like the chief arbiter's ruling, then usually every FIDE tournament should have an appeals council that they can be contacted within an hour after the game, and then there's an actual appeals process, which I think that's normal. Actually,
Yeah.
it just happened recently in chess.com with the grandmaster draws, like moving the knights
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, that was an appeal process, right? And they
Yeah.
went through it, and so yeah, that's normal. I think most competitive players don't actually know it exists, but it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we haven't experienced, but okay, I guess that's interesting. I can see how that can be exciting, but I always thought I would hate to be an arbiter because it just seems so boring. You're just sitting there watching people.
Well, so yes, there are ways to kind of mentally keep the how do I say keep the stimulation up, because yeah, at the end of the day, if nothing's going on, there's like 17 boards going off and everything's just quiet and
Yeah.
so what I do to keep maybe I'll add this as a tip for how to be a natural arbiter and how to keep yourself engaged. But what I do is I'm not the best at it, but I'll look at every board and I'll try and keep them all in my head. And I'll try and figure like what moves are they trying to do. But at the same time, my main job is to look at the clock to make sure that there's no issues with rulings and stuff. But I'm luckily, because I'm still, I guess, decent in chess, or I can still like look at a game and try and figure it out. So I'll have it in my head where I'm looking at the games and I'm trying to see what they're trying to do, and that keeps me engaged enough because I love watching chess. But on the outside, I'm focusing on, making sure they don't have a digital watch on them, making sure there's no, if it's kids, making sure that like their parents not nearby,
Yeah.
no signs of anything of that nature. Not that I think it's a big problem in Canada, like over the board, but I've run into it before. So yeah, but that's how I keep myself engaged, and it's enough because I guess another thing too is that I also used to work in security. So back when I was a guard, like in the low level days, I would stand at a door for 12 hours straight doing
Yeah,
nothing.
okay. I guess I
So
can.
when you compare chess to
Yeah.
that's like nothing. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm just a perfect breed.
Yeah,
for
I think
arbiting.
so.
And of course, my goal is not to necessarily be an IA that just is doing a certain part. I want to be a chief arbiter. I want to be like one day running the candidates and like controlling all that operations, and like that's my and it's gonna take forever, but I think I have the right personality and mindset to do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Or I don't
If
know,
that's
this
what you
this
want.
podcast can blow up and then I just stick to this forever, and we go to episode 1,000, and we got 2-3 people returning back, and see how it was in the old days. But no, I actually I love this too. I love talking to people, and I figured, like, what's the idea of the Takes podcast? Like, how do we make it a little bit different than other good podcasts that are out there that I respect a lot? And I think, like, just hearing about chess streamers, there's such a huge boom of chess streamers that I think just engaging with them and hearing about their chess journey, like, it's fascinating. Like, half the stuff you said, I'm just like, oh man, I wish I'm trying to imagine it. And you know what? The next person after that, the next person after that, they're all gonna have their own chess journeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. I'm trying to find, like, I think there's another streamer that we're trying to figure out a date, and she is not competitive at all. And I'm most interested in hearing about, because to me, like, a professional chess player, it's easy to transition to Twitch or YouTube to
Yeah.
stream. But I want to hear how she's doing it, and she's like never played in a chess tournament before. Like, I'm
Yeah.
really, I want to hear that. I
But
want
a
to.
lot of people have started.
Mm-hmm,
Um, I think it's more like if they want to stream. I think chess is a very accessible game because you always hear about it, and it's also a bit more attractive than other games because it also has this like I think prestige attached to it. Um, I guess like if you're thinking about telling someone that you started streaming a game, they probably would be more impressed that you're streaming chess than a different game.
we do.
Well, in my mind, that's
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, we do have that 5,000 year history background, but with
yeah,
no patch updates.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, let's actually. That's a good topic to talk about. Is chess streamers. What got you specifically into? I purposely did not look up your journey because I wanted to hear firsthand of how you got into chess streaming.
Um, so I always wanted to make. I've always wanted to make content in general. Well, when I was younger, like I made my first YouTube video when I was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always wanted to ultimately I've always wanted to be an actress. And then
Ooh.
um and then like YouTube was the most accessible way to do that to make videos. And
Mm-hmm.
then Fiona was the first like chess content creator, female content creator that I followed or that I was inspired by. And she would make vlogs and videos. She was the first person I think that even did this, that made vlogs and stuff from tournaments. And I was like, okay, I think there's a huge market in this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is when like Chess Bra were also kind of starting as well. Or maybe they were already a thing. Like this was 2016, and I thought I wanted to start my own thing, but I was quite shy. And I didn't want to do it on my own. So I asked one of my friends, Kimia, who now she doesn't play chess anymore, but she's from Norway. She's a Norwegian chess player.
Mm-hmm.
And also, then she asked her, she thought like to add another person to the group. So we found the name Cheeky Chess TV. So that was the first thing
Cheeky
that,
chess TV. That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I
So
think
that
that
was
gets
the
everyone smiling.
yeah, it was. I mean, we still have the YouTube channel and stuff, and I think I've been thinking of like restarting something with it, like Week in Chess or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the first thing that got me into streaming. So we streamed. It was a trio, and then we did that, and we also went to Reykjavik for the Reykjavik Open.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and we did interviews there. So that was the first like uh proper content that we did. I edited the YouTube video and then that got really good responses. But then I had my final year of secondary school, so I didn't
Oh, you started really young.
yeah.
Like, I didn't think. I didn't like. I'm not assuming anything, but I didn't think that was you were gonna start that young as a YouTuber.
Well, yeah, so I wanted to be a YouTuber before, like, I always wanted to do something like outside of chess. I didn't want to do anything associated with chess, but then I thought if I do chess, I wanted to do it to do like the fun parts of chess. So
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily um playing, but like traveling around, meeting friends and the social part of it. And then I stopped and I started my own channel. So that was just Cheeky Chess TV channel, the three of us. But both of them they stopped playing chess and they wanted to remove themselves from that. So I started my own channel in 2018. Um, yeah, and then that's how I started properly streaming. But it started before, so that's how I got into it. I've always wanted to do content creation in general.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know YouTube existed at 14. I think I don't
Oh yeah.
remember. Yeah. So
Yeah, but I guess I'm a little bit younger. I'm
do,
a lot younger.
do you still make YouTube videos now? Like, do you transfer like?
Mm, it's
Oh, what
not
is?
really.
Uh-oh, we got some
Well,
motivation now to.
I know I do need to. I have like a few videos up, but I the thing that gets to me is just editing, and I'm such a perfectionist that I cannot upload
Oh
anything that's not
yes, I
perfect.
get it. I get it.
And I did like I've been through like so many different phases with YouTube, but
Mm-hmm.
I had I was lucky enough to have an editor at this like during COVID, and he edited like a few of my streams, but it's not something that I just don't enjoy well, that's not true. I enjoy editing, it just takes way too much time and then I lose
Yes.
motivation.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, right now, my motivation is very high from a podcast standpoint, but the editing is so much. Like,
Yeah.
just like editing. Like, I can talk about Mark's, the first episode I did. That was a 2 hour, 42 minute episode. We could have went to 4 hours, but I realized we were about to go close to the chess tournament. It was actually done on a Friday, so if it wasn't for a Friday, we would have just kept going and going, like,
Yeah.
because he knows like he likes talking and I like talking, but I also like listening too. So it's like the perfect like marriage of just like, and we had some really interesting, like he had such interesting insights and like he really thinks special, like different than others. Like it's quite fascinating to hear his insights and stuff. But yeah, we were just going nonstop and um, excuse me. And as I'm going through, as I finish the episode, I tell him, I'm gonna be hearing your voice in my sleep because you know how many times I'm gonna be looking at this and editing it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my! I spent like terribly like 8 hours just like
Yeah.
documenting all the topic times where we switched everything up, and then put all the timestamps, and then identify key points that I found really funny, make them shorts and clips, test to see
Yeah.
how many viewers they're gonna get because I'm new to this, so I'm experimenting. Funny enough, my biggest viewed short was a 15-second clip. I don't know if you've seen it. It's actually quite hilarious. Yeah, I'll spoil it for you because it's only 15 seconds. But basically, Mark's explaining to me his Immortal game. And of course, he's an
Okay.
IM, so he memorizes it, right?
Yeah.
So we had like the table's like right here, and we're going through the Immortal game, and he's like in the basically like it looks like a losing position. Like he's gonna lose mate in one. Like he has kings on h1 or sorry a1. There's a pawn on a2. There's like a enemy queen on a3 and a rook on a8. It's like lights out. So he's like, so I'm very concerned about this. But luckily for me, I have a mate in 11.
Oh my god.
And the look on my face when he said that, and then I added the soundbite of like the what the, but I just took out the swear word and put in the what. 900 views in like 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So that was my best like video from a reaction standpoint.
Oh, that sounds good. Interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I don't know how because I can't see. I'm really bad at calculation. I have aphantasia, so I can't actually see anything in my head. I can't see.
yeah. So you have a what? Sorry, the
It's called aphantasia. It's when you can't visualize.
wait. You play chess without visualizing in your head?
Yeah. So
How does
so I
that work?
can't.
What? You're
I
me.
know it's weird because I didn't know people could visualize until like 2 years ago. I didn't realize people could do that.
What? This doesn't make. I don't understand how you cannot visualize it. Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Because when I was telling you earlier about arbiting and how I
Yeah.
don't keep bored, you gave me like there was a look on your face that made me go like, "What the hell is Matt talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, is it like weird to not visualize like things in your head and like keep it in your
No,
head?"
I
And like,
was just yeah,
that's
because I was like,
crazy.
okay, well, if I could do that, fine, I
But
understand. But yeah,
if you've been playing chess without able to, okay, I'm I'm super shocked. If you've been playing chess without visualizing in your head, and you're like destroying people younger and even now, like you would be like a GM,
but
because
no
you.
one. That's the thing is that no one actually talks about this. I didn't realize, but I found out because my friend also has it. My friend Patrick, he
Oh
has
wow.
it too, and I stumbled across it because um I was teaching, I was doing a lesson, and then
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that, oh, I find it hard to like keep the whole board in my head. I can only see like maybe a quarter of it. And then I was like, oh, but like no one can actually see it. And then he was like, no, no, I can hold it for a bit, but I can't read it. And I was like, no, but that's just like Queen's Gambit came out, and everyone thinks like that people can see things in their heads. And then he was like, he was trying to like explain it to me, but I didn't really get it. Anyway, we moved on, and then I was saying this to Patrick, and I was saying like, why does everyone think like that chess players see things in their heads? And then he was like, I thought you might have aphantasia, but I didn't think you did. And then he told me about it, and I was like, what? Like it took me a long time. Still, I try not to think about it too much because it's not even the chess part that's sad. It's like I can't see any of my memories because, well, I just can't imagine anything in my head.
Oh my
So
god.
so I can't see. Yeah, and not enough people talk about it. Like I only know one. So I know two people. I only know one person personally, Patrick, and then I also know he said that also the chess dojo player
Mm-hmm.
um has it too, and he's an IM. So it's possible to get higher, but I thought, okay, well now I literally can't get any better because how the hell am I going to improve? Because I still play the same as I did when I was like I just don't think I've improved at all. And every time I sit and study, I'm like, I just can't materialize on the work that I do. It's more if I like when I'm studying, I feel like I'm only improving if I play more rather than if I look at a position and I'm calculating. I mean, of course, yeah. I just think it's a bit harder when you can't see the board.
Okay, there's a lot I took from that. So I think your pattern recognition must be off the chart then, because that's probably the one thing that's really carrying your like chess, because you just know like the sequence without having to picture it in your head. So that obviously
Yeah,
has to
I
be
think
extremely
yeah.
high for you. Like that's probably one of your biggest
Yeah.
strengths.
Yeah, probably my intuition is the best
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That ties into pattern recognition, but oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
can you?
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. No, what were you going to say?
Well, I just wanted to actually ask you about. You said what's the call again?
Aphantasia. So,
Aphantasia. Yeah,
yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
let's talk about this because how do people discover? Like you said, you discovered it recently, but now I'm assuming you have a lot more medical knowledge of this. And
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about this because
Took a long time.
I've never even like I used to work in like in I wouldn't say I'm not a doctor or anything, but I used to work in healthcare, so I would hear about diseases and certain things and like, but I've never heard of this before. So
Yeah,
let's.
so I don't know when I don't know what I forgot when it was discovered, but I think in 2016 there was some study done, but there's not enough studies done, and it's not registered as a disability, I guess. Like your brain kind of compensates, so maybe I would be better at other things. Like for example, intuition. I would
Mm-hmm.
and being present. That's another thing. Like I'm really good. I'm very aware of things, but um I'm really bad at memory or like remembering maybe where something was. Or yeah, if it was a memory, like a lot of the times like the more I recall it, like maybe I'll add another detail or something and it's not actually how it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was discovered because someone who had, I think they had brain cancer or something. They were trying to imagine something where, yeah, and they couldn't anymore. They had lost their ability to visualize. So they went to the doctor and yeah, they freaked out about this, and then they found out. And then they did like some surveys, and there are people like it's a spectrum. So I can't see anything, but there are other people who maybe can see just shadows, like not colors or less vivid.
Oh, okay. So just dig a little bit further from my understanding. So when you recall a memory, like let's just say you're thinking about what you ate last night,
Yeah,
you might you can't visually see it. You can't visually see it from your perspective. You can't see it from maybe an outside perspective of what it most likely is, but you probably still remember what it is, the details of it. Is that like does that make sense? Like you ate
yes,
spaghetti yesterday. You can't visually see anything of it. You can't
yeah,
imagine seeing it from an outside perspective.
yeah,
You can't imagine seeing blah 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 blah. But you know that it was like nice spaghetti. It came from this store. You know, it
yeah,
was great
yeah.
details. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I remember facts rather than I just can't see.
Holy smokes!
So that's how I think
Yeah.
about a position is I
Hmm.
talk about the position. So um
Hmm.
like this square is being attacked, I'm threatening mate here.
Hmm.
Um but I don't see it.
Wow. Like from a chess perspective, like here, I'll tell you something that's been affecting my chess game recently is sleep apnea. It's actually affected my classical game because, and I know it sounds funny, but it's a very serious
Oh,
condition. But
yeah.
um, I start falling asleep when I'm playing chess.
No.
And you and I know you know this, but you know how much energy it takes to like reset and try and focus and go through a line again. Like it's
Yeah,
continuously
no,
over
but
and
that's
over.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
to
can't
me,
because I struggle to do that, yeah.
yeah. So to me, I feel like it's a chess disability.
Yeah.
And it's one of the worst. Like I actually have one of the worst cases in Ontario, but I'm getting better at it. But that's why this weekend when I was playing, I told you about Newmarket. I wanted to test to see if I was capable of playing a classical game because I haven't played in a while because I lost. So when I like to think that when I lose, I don't lose based on like tactics. I lose because I'm outplayed or maybe I have a worser understanding of this position, which is completely fine. I don't mind. But when I lose to an immediate like one move piece blunders or pawn blunders, that's usually not me in a classical game. I can,
Yeah.
but recently in the last few months, I lost that. I would lose pawns or even a piece to 1600s, 1500s. I would never in a million years would do that. And then I
Oh
realized because my
no.
concentration would cut
Yeah.
off. And my best friend's a doctor. He noted that he saw me sleep one day and he was like, Matt, you think you have sleep apnea? So to give you an example, the average human being, and I watch, you can have all these comments on YouTubers of, Matt, that's not 100% true. Like, but no, well, this is what I got from the sleep apnea doctor. He said like the average human being goes through like 180 interruptions of sleep a night. Whether it's like, and an interruption could be like, your nose is clogged, lack of intake of air, very
Yeah.
small stuff. I was going through an average 659 interruptions a night.
Oh no.
And then for O2 stats, so the oxygen that comes into your brain, etc. Usually for people that sleep, it's like an average between 80 and 90, which is like very common. My O2 stats will go down to 54,
Oh
which is basically
no.
borderline like choking,
Yeah.
but it's not enough to trigger me to wake up. So yeah, I'm getting. So even tonight, I didn't making sure I wasn't late for the podcast. I forgot to put on my sleep apnea like device. Like so, around 5 a.m. I woke up and I'm like, crap. I need to. Do I risk it? Because if I put my sleep apnea on, alarm clock might not wake me up. I risked
Oh.
it anyway because I needed. It's
Yeah.
important. I need to put that
You
on.
need
So
sleep. Yeah.
yeah, I was fine. But yeah, so to me, like what you're telling me is like a chest disability because
Yeah, I think so.
it's a like I can argue yours is probably even worse than mine because at least mine I can get mine better over time. Like I can lose weight, be fit,
Yeah.
healthy, fit. or fitter, and it'll work itself over time. But you have like it's like what you're telling me is like permanent.
Yeah, I can't. You can't because that part of my brain isn't fired. But yeah, it's really annoying because even if you have like if you can see anything, like if you can even see a shadow, you can improve on it. You can always get it better. But with this, I'm doomed.
You're not doomed. It's just it's kind of like I don't know if you follow like Marvel characters or like superheroes.
Yeah.
You ever heard of the Daredevil?
No.
So Daredevil, he's blind,
Oh.
completely blind, but he has an ability where through like this like chemical accident, all his other senses are amplified. So he
Yeah.
has like a radar sense, which he can like his eyes can pick up sound waves and give himself like an infrared vision, even though he can't
Hmm.
see. His hearing is like 5 times better. His reflexes are 5 times better because they're all compensating for his lack
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
hearing. So what you said earlier, I think your intuition's greater. You're very live at the present moment, which is like arguably more important than anything else because we have to be present of what's going on
Yeah.
now to make sure we're ready for the future. I think those are. I don't know if the only person that can decide those trade-offs are worth it is really you, right?
Yeah. No, I mean I've come to terms with it a little bit, but it took a while. Like again, it's not chess that was the worst thing for me to think of. It was that like people that and that's why I think I've always liked I take pictures of everything or I document everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a reason why I have been doing that because I can't really recall.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
starting to. Yeah, I'm starting to see things now from your perspective, like going to concerts, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to
I
do
always
this.
need to record it.
Whoa, you're in the you're in the perfect generation to do that now. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Back in my time, I don't know how old you are, but back in my time, there was no phone that
Yeah.
existed when you were
Yeah.
listening to like any concert. Now it's like for you, it's like literally mandatory.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching a comedian, oh boy, you're gonna get roasted because if you pull your phone out and you're recording it, they're gonna call on you right on the spot. But
I know.
it'll be a good time either way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't do it like all the time, but I because I can still remember things and I can think back to things, but I don't see it. But if yeah, so I guess I can't really appreciate like a nice sunset or something if I'm looking back
Hmm.
at it. But a good joke, I can appreciate that because like I can just think about the sentences and stuff. But so I take a lot of pictures and I film almost everything. Yeah.
Oh, maybe you should. I'm surprised you're not doing. I don't know if you did this on your YouTube channel, but maybe vlogging is like.
Yeah, I have so much vlogging footage. I filmed almost every tournament I've been at. I just haven't uploaded it because of editing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking for like my channel because I was like following the strategy a friend suggested to me, and he's like in the whole chess space that keep your main YouTube channel just focus strictly on podcasts, just let that grow, but make a side channel like call it like Vigernus Extras on like your Twitch stuff, vlogging because I have a vlogging camera like I'm using that right now. It's pretty nifty.
What
Um,
camera do you use?
it is a Sony. I think it's called a Sony ZV-10 or something. Actually, I
Okay.
can. Actually, I don't want to mess up anything. I'm not gonna touch.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna touch this. But yeah, I'm using a Sony V10, which is a. It's basically a cheaper vlogging camera that it's meant for streaming and for vlogging, not necessarily for pictures. Like it still takes good
Yeah.
pictures. But that was I wanted to upgrade my camera since I was going rededicated to Twitch, and I was actually using this camera during the chess.com championships, um, the one where they were in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually used it live there because I
Oh.
yeah, so I actually do blogging, which is one of the biggest things because I do coaching and I'm trying to focus more on outside coaching. Like I have quite a decent amount of students here, but I'm trying to expand online. And one of the things I was told to do, which makes more sense, and that's why streaming is so important for us in this field, is to blog and to make great content, post it on multiple websites, keep it
Yeah.
going and growing. So before we started today, or even before we're streaming, I just did a top 10 moments of Grandmaster Vishenan's most memorable times in his life, in his chess career, because India just has a now new number one champion. I don't even know how to pronounce his name; it's so long. Um, and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about Vishenan. He's like one of my favorite grandmasters. He's like a legend. So I just wrote a whole blog. It took me like 3 hours to do it, and I noticed based on the data, my blogs are getting more views. Like I use
Oh,
chess.com, I use Chess, and I use something called Substack, which is a very popular blogging. Um, Substack is not getting any traction because I haven't really advertised it
yeah.
anywhere. But Chess and chess.com are both getting their own. Like some blogs are doing better than others, and some like I don't. And I'm not. I'm starting to understand like the dynamics of each website. Like for example, the chess.com one, my biggest hit, or not biggest hit, but the most views I have on one blog is when I met Magnus Carlsen.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say meet. It was a very I did encounter him, and then he did interact with me. So technically, I consider that we've met. But that gained the most views on chess.com. And then for Lee Chess, my biggest one was top 10 tips on Bullet, like how to get better in Bullet, because why not? Like
Everyone wants to get better.
it's fun, and I'm a 2400 Bullet player on. Well, now 2300. I lost like 80 points yesterday
Oh
on
no.
Chess. So which is like a little slightly inflated rating, but it was good. Like it's still good competition, and I'm on like 2200 on chess.com. So I made some tips, and it got a lot of views. It got like it's almost 500 now in like 4 days,
Oh, that's
and that's
good.
just starting off. So
Yeah.
I'm very encouraged, and I guess the easy part for the blog is that I just post on multiple websites. It's not hard to transfer it to each of them. So
And you post the same thing.
yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
And just build up the traction. And one thing I've learned too is Facebook is a very good tool for not necessarily sharing unless you have a lot of chess followers. And I have no chess followers like on Facebook, but I've joined all these Facebook groups that have like 300,000 members to it,
Yeah.
and I just blast my blog post, and it's significant because it
Yeah.
talks about good stuff. So rather than the 10,000 view like made in one tactic that you see every single day, hey, here's an article about how to get your game better in like certain ways, or talk about Grandmaster. So I think that's helping with the views too. And
Yeah.
so yeah, this whole I'm just like kind of like diversifying, doing all these different parts, and I just wish I could play more competitive chess, but I this chess disability is impacting me. So the best part is I could just wait and maybe one day. Um, but yeah, I wanted to ask like how does one like if you were talking to viewers out there who might have this, what would you suggest they do to like? Because maybe there could be someone listening right now that what you're describing is like 99% of what they're going through, and they just what the heck? Like this is like I didn't know about this.
Hmm. Um. Well, I haven't actively done anything differently than I've done before. Uh.
Like, is there
Hmm.
any tests that can be done? Like, there's like clinics that can do hearing tests or visual tests. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. There are tests online. But if you have it, you have it because you just can't see anything in your head.
Okay.
Like I guess I just never knew anyone could see in their head because I thought it was just metaphorical talking. Like
Hmm.
when you have to do these exercises as a kid, like imagine you're at a beach and it's meditation. I just thought you're just thinking of the concept of a beach. But if you if you can see like anything at all and it's just not strong enough, you just need to do a lot of visualization exercises. And I can imagine that it would be like some sort of effort, just like anything else, because it's just a part of your brain that's fired up and you need to strengthen it. So do a lot of like, I was never good at blindfold chess, but if you do that,
Yeah.
I did play a blindfold game the other day against a viewer because I have this thing where you spin a wheel and it landed on play a blindfold game, but I mean I lost pretty easily.
I've actually seen that more that streamers have that they have like it's like a visual wheel, and a viewer like subscribes or follows, like
Yeah.
they'll like it'll just spin, and then you Like it's like analyze a game, play a 3
Yeah,
minute bullet, play 30-second hyper bullet, like that type of stuff. Oh, okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's what I have recently put that up, and people seem to like it, and there's a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah.
But well, if you, I still don't know what would help because I haven't figured it out yet. But I can imagine that you just need to just continue practicing like you did have before, and you already know probably what works for you because it has worked so far. And if it hasn't worked, then I guess try um new things. Like for me, I have played a lot of classical games ever since I was young, so that has been the foundation of my chess.
Mhm.
My openings aren't great. My middle game is probably my best, so my understanding of the position is probably my best um, part of my chess game. So, like, also if you have a foundation, you can still memorize things. So knowing theory would always help you. Will
Yes.
always help you. Knowing the types of positions that you can get, like being able to um, understand the transpositions. So maybe even if the opening isn't what you're used to, you can relate it to a different position, and you know the concepts of the position. So I don't know which bishop you want to keep, which one you want to exchange, the weaknesses in the position. Like if you have an isolated pawn, um, what you want to do. So knowing those concepts and then talking about it during the game can help you. I guess that's what I do. And that has helped me a lot to have conversations with myself. And I think in general, even if you can visualize, pairing both of these together, um, I think would also help your chess. So just thinking about the relationship between your pieces, like coordinating your pieces, things like that. Um, and being aware of where which part of the board you're playing on, which side your opponent is attacking, things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
mainly just communicating.
No, I mean like that's a I resonate with everything you're saying, especially talking to yourself like mentally. I think that might
Yeah,
I don't know how many chess players do that. I actually do that when I need to focus better. Like
I
especially if it's
think a lot of I think everyone does it.
well, I'm an only child, so I'm allowed to talk to myself like locally. But I remember like I would every game like I'm let's just say I'm in a confusing position and I which is like all the time at the higher levels. I remember I would just go to myself and like, okay, Matt, take a second, let's look at the position. What are they trying to do? What's the idea? And I usually like I think when I was younger, I was better at end games. That was like my strongest area of chess.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually it's a weakness of players when they're younger.
Well, actually, it's funny. Mark Plotkin, he said it in on the podcast. He said on he like he was trained the Russian way, which is you learn your end games
Oh
first,
yeah, yeah.
etc. So I think I just got bet. I just liked end games more because I liked how
Okay.
it's like less pieces, 10 times more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it. So, but now I think I'm my best because I haven't practiced end games like religiously, like study like everything. Like I still know all the basics, but my strength is middle games. Like
Yeah.
having a plan, knowing that I need to abandon it to go this way because of they expose something, knowing that I'm going to be slowly crushed and like I have to go all in and give myself the best chance to succeed. Like even this stream I was just doing before we came on, I was I start off 1 for 5 and I was like, oh my god, I just lost like 80 rating on Blitz, and then I was like, you know what? If I'm playing tournaments, you're prepared to lose rating. So I just bulleted it, or sorry, I blitzkrieged all my last games and won most of them, and just played like the situation. So I was good at. Luckily, as a streamer, you could just say it to yourself.
Yeah.
But in the tournament, I would actually talk to myself and be like, okay, does this work? Okay, let's go through the calculate the line as best as we can. Try and push that extra move to calculate because usually it's the move after that you see if there's a win or not. Okay, that doesn't work. Try this one, then try this one, then try this one, and then try this one. And I would say it to myself to organize myself because sometimes the brain just plays tricks on you, and you just have to go back and look at it. You're just wasting more energy, and it has that effect on you, especially if you're playing like
Yeah,
7 rounds of chess every day, and or like 3 rounds if you're playing a 90-30. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a good one. That got me thinking.
yeah. Talking is always gonna help.
Hmm. You mentioned your viewers, like you were playing a blind game against them. When did you start Twitch streaming, and when did it really start? Like I like to think every chess streamer had some sort of like boom from them, or like they're still waiting for their boom, right? Where the growth just goes like up like tremendously. For you, like, did it happen naturally? That did just grow your channel grow right away, or did it take time to like build it up, or did you do something different to get out yourself out there, or you just did your thing and just naturally resonated with viewers as they came to watch you?
So the same. So Cheeky Chess TV was Twitch. So we
Oh, I
started
didn't know
with
that.
yeah,
Oh, I thought
yeah.
it used to be called. Oh my god, what was before? I thought it was another name for it. Um.
No. I mean, like that was our channel name for Twitch.
Oh,
So that's what I
I thought it was your
started.
channel for your name for YouTube.
Well, it was also, but we started with Twitch, but YouTube we had that on the side
Okay,
as well. Like
sorry, I
that
was
was
thinking
just our
only
name for
YouTube. Okay,
everything.
now that makes okay. Now
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So that was everything for Twitch. Yeah, Twitch was always the main thing that I did. YouTube was like the thing that I would have liked to do, and I have a few videos, but it's not as serious as my Twitch channel.
Hmm.
So I started like I I've been on and off for like maybe uh a few years, like since 2018.
Hmm.
So Cheeky Chess was like around 2016, and then I started my channel in 2018. And I took a few breaks, but now it's the first time when I'm maybe like consistent every day, apart from during COVID. That's like during COVID is when I think everyone started their channel as well, mainly.
Yeah, definitely like the mass audience grew into Twitch. Like, hey, let's
Yeah,
do this. I have nothing else to do. And
yeah,
then every competitive player just started reading like chessables or books, and they just got 400 more ELO all of a sudden,
yeah.
playing stronger.
But I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was ever gonna be a professional chess player anyway, so I don't think it would have helped me much anyway. Yeah, doubling down on my chess knowledge and getting better there.
Hmm.
But content creating, that's always going to be something that I'm passionate about. So I mean, the reason why I did Twitch was to help me get into content. I didn't think it was going to be my main, um, yeah, the main focus, but I guess now it is.
Hmm. Oh, nice. Um, I'm not even sure for me if that's going to be my main thing. Like, I definitely want to. I would definitely love to do the podcast live on Twitch. I think that would be
Yeah.
super cool. Um, and then like keep the videos on YouTube and just keep it separate. I do remember when I started Twitch. I'm trying to remember. I think it was so I started a YouTube channel 6 years ago. Built some episodes, then I stopped because I was so focused on security.
Mhm.
Um, and then Twitch, I did it. I think I started 3 years ago, and I wanted to see if I could get Twitch affiliate and like how fast I could
Okay.
do it. And it actually took me a month to get it, which I heard is really good for a chess streamer. I have nothing
Yeah.
to compare that with. But I remember I would stream 4 hours a day after work, and I think I got fortunate because I ran into a viewer. His name's I don't see him anymore, but maybe he'll pop back one day. I believe his name was like Man, the explain usernames is going to be crazy on this because everyone has their unique names. But I think it was like River Oboa or something. Like he was a big Witcher fan. Do you follow Witcher?
No,
Oh yeah, so yeah,
I've
it's a
heard of it, but I
yeah
don't.
very cool TV series, and the books are really good too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do know the TV series. I
Yeah,
thought it was a game.
It is a game.
It's
It's
based
one
on
of
a
the
game. It's
yeah.
based on a game.
It's one of the biggest games in the world.
Oh,
Because it was
I know the
created so
TV
well.
show.
Yeah, the TV show is amazing. Although it's going to be arguable to see what's going to happen after season 4, because they changed the That's all. That's I'm not even going to talk about that. But so I remember he just knew people on Twitch, and they would start popping by, and then
Oh,
suddenly I started having like 3 people just chatting up. And to me, the hardest thing about Twitch, and I'm mentally getting over that now, is to stream when there's no one watching. To me, that's
yeah.
so hard. But I recently came into some advice from I was reading a memoir on an actress, and she said like you got to make sure that you know the reason why movies and stories. And I actually used to be a drama. Like I used to do improv as acting.
Really? No
Yeah, I'm very
way!
big on improv. Yeah,
That's so cool. That's one of the coolest skills. What?
yeah.
That's so cool.
Okay, so all right, let me let's go into that further. So I actually so my background too is in public speaking. Um,
Oh,
I have a Toastmasters background. So I don't know if you heard of Toastmasters, but
no.
they're a huge like global nonprofit organization that focuses on how to develop your public speaking and leadership skills. So when I was younger, I always knew I had a voice, but confidence is a whole other thing. And I decided to join Toastmasters because A, I wanted to get better at speaking, and B, I was starting off as a supervisor in security, so I wanted to build up my leadership skills to become a manager one day.
Yeah.
So I ran into a Toastmaster club locally, and one of the members who greeted me, he was the vice president of membership. He happened to be one of the most famous Toastmasters in Canada, like even in the
Oh,
world. He's like a 3-time Roger Caesar. Shout out to you. He is a 3-time semifinalist, one-time top 3 global finalist in the world of public
whoa.
speaking. In fact, if you go on YouTube and look up Toastmasters World Champions, you'll hear some of the greatest speeches of all time from Toastmasters, and I can tell you exactly how they do this and break it down and and explain all the different techniques they use.
Whoa.
So yeah, so I was identified as someone who is a natural at public speaking. Um, but I remember at the time, and I could say it now because I'm a lot older, more mature. I didn't put a lot of hard work to grow that potential. Even though I was so part of Toastmasters, I had a lot of people look up to me because of my natural ability to connect and speak and animate myself and do all of that.
Yeah.
Um, I had the fire competing, but I didn't have the work ethic. And you need to be disciplined and all that stuff.
Same as chess.
Oh yeah, same as chess. So right now, definitely, I'm very good at public. I actually teach so I do a lot of teaching like in schools and stuff for chess. But now I've actually started teaching a class public speaking, and they're all grade 1 to grade 5, and half of them are chess players. So I see them on Wednesdays, and on Monday I teach them public speaking skills, and I do a little bit of drama acting because you need to. It's a different set of to understand, like to make it fun for them publicly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I knew that coming into Twitch, I knew that my chess ability will probably draw viewers because, like you, I'm like the top 1% in the world in chess, like competitively. Like, we could definitely say that as like, yeah, we have that skill, and people will watch and love to see competitive people play. But I knew that if I connect with viewers and I have someone to interact with, they'll probably stay. The chances will, instead of 1% of staying, they'll stay. It'll be 5%. They'll stay. Out of all the people that come in and out of the channel. So those 30 days, I actually got quite a bit of people following, and then it was like
Oh, great.
funny. It was like little raids of like 10 people, and before you know it, after a month, I hit 3 average viewers.
Great.
And then I stopped because it
Oh,
was just
really?
I stopped forever,
Oh.
and I stopped till 2 weeks ago,
Wait, so when was this? When did you start?
3 years ago. Yeah,
Oh.
and I was still in full because I was so busy. Like I was I was still doing chess on the side. I was doing full time work. I was a public speaking. I was learning doing Toastmasters. I was doing all these different things. And now I realized that Twitch, like I miss Twitch,
Yeah.
but it's so important for chess for what I do to be on Twitch because it
Do
amplifies
you think
everything.
so?
Yeah, well, for me it is
Oh,
because it amplifies my blogging because people can look at my blog. It
yeah,
amplifies my YouTube channel because people look at my channel when they hear me. It amplifies my chess club if I wanted to talk about it locally. Um,
yeah,
which we've been operating since late 2016. Like I'm one of the co-founders and directors, so that's really good. It amplifies coaching. Like I'm trying to get more students online. I'm really trying to expand that horizon. So it just connects. Like I just had a chess player yesterday message me asking me my rates for chess coaching, and like that just happened. Um,
yeah. That's really good.
yeah, so Twitch, like I feel like like streaming in general, I think it just connects everything, and of course my podcast, which I'm not trying to like I don't want to look at it as a business, but I really wanted to grow, and I don't want to rush it. I just want to really create good content,
Yeah,
get guests like you to have a good time, have conversation, have some fun, add some memes and all that stuff. But no, I just want to like I honestly I just like hear about everyone's journey because that's how I was
yeah,
in public speaking, where I used to, so remember how the VP of membership, Roger Caesar, he met me? I
yeah.
became the VP of membership later on. And I would talk to people
Oh,
and ask them, how do you do public speaking? Like, what do you want to improve on? Because Toastmasters is all about being in a very positive environment and growing together to achieve your goals. And it's all over the
wow,
world.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I use that same mentality for chess, where, if I'm doing chess coaching, what do you want to work on? What's your goals? And when do you want to have say? And I have say based on your chess. Like if you want to be a competitive player, you just want to get better for fun, or you just want to learn chess new. Which, if they're like learning chess new, I wouldn't even recommend me. I would be like, go on YouTube, like,
Yeah,
learn it first. Like save your money, and then if you feel really passionate, then come to me later, because. I think that's just fair. It's good to give them good, direct, honest advice,
yeah,
and the money will come in naturally over time. So I think this all connects together, and I really like just hearing about everyone's journey is kind of cool. Like hearing about yours and Mark's, and soon the next hopefully 10, 15, 100 people. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of editing later on.
yeah.
I might have to
Good
hire an
luck.
editor. It's gonna get too much. Like, yeah. So when did it blow up for you for Twitch? When did you feel like you're like are you a partner now?
No,
Oh,
I don't think I will be for a long time because
it's
well,
75 viewers, right? I think.
yeah, it's 75. Um, because I've been like up and down, I never, well, I have a consistent, I have the same, maybe like 10 people that come in, but I have an average now of like
Oh, that's
25.
so good.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, so good, but you see like most of the streamers have like hundreds.
Yeah, but oh no, but it's like
Um,
it's always about perception, right? Like for you, it's like yeah, I want to hit that 75. I wish I was like the Andreas or the Elizas or like getting 100, 200 viewers, and then there's me like man, I wish I had 10 viewers like straight like consistently. So it's
yeah.
just a matter of time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's just, and I guess so I'm not partnered with chess.com. I do really like Lichess.
mhm,
And I mainly play on Lichess, but I've been thinking ages ago I turned down an opportunity to partner with chess.com like when I first started with Cheeky Chess TV.
mhm.
And sometimes I regret it, but I do really appreciate that Lichess is free. Um and for example like Puzzle Racer or like Puzzle Storm and things
Yes.
like that,
Mhm.
you can just do it infinite amount of times. And I'm also just more used to playing on Lichess. I like the pre-moves on Lichess because you don't lose time.
It's so so yeah, here's okay, this is gonna be a clip of like what's chess.com or lead chess, plus or minuses or anything like that. But no, I honestly I like both sites for what their intentions are.
Yeah.
Like as someone who runs a non-profit chess club, lead chess really resonates with us.
Yeah.
Because I don't like I'm sure you're very familiar with chess clubs and all the different like dynamics and structures, like whether it's in your country or other countries. But our chess club is very different than others because we don't charge an entry fee.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, so we're
Oh,
very fortunate to find a space where it's free.
Oh,
We actually
that's
play we
really
play
good.
at a coffee shop.
Oh,
So we're not too big because we don't want to be too big. But we used to have like 30 to 40 people on average come. Actually, no, highest was 37. Sorry, fact,
but that
fact.
is quite big.
Oh yeah, when if it's quite something, especially when the whole coffee shop's filled with chess players. We've been
Yeah,
averaging about 25 recently. There's been a
that's
boom of newer.
great.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's been a boom of new chess players like every week. We actually have a like when we first started, we had a decent amount of female players. Like I would say 25% of the club was females, and then it just dwindled to like
Wow.
0%.
Yeah, that's always how it
Yeah,
is.
but now we just have we just had a female chess player with a CFC rating of 1732 at her peak.
Excellent.
And I'm like, she's like destroying people, like half the club, and I'm like, please stay here more, like,
Yeah,
and we played 2 games. She got 1 game off me, I got 1 game off her, and she's enjoying it. She's loving the vibe. Our
great.
club is all very chilled. It's not, we don't run tournaments or stuff. We can run so we actually run our own tournaments outside of the club. Like we'll go to a recreation center. They'll lend it us for free. We can run the club there or run a tournament there. Like 5 days of like CFC or actually we're running a FIDE tournament now. But the cool
Oh,
part,
excellent.
yeah, the cool part of our club is that it's financially accessible for anyone. Because there are
That's
some
so good.
families that they can't
Yeah,
afford the 80 to 100 or $120 a
yeah,
month a year or something. So they
yeah.
could just pop by our club and boom, they're playing chess, and we have free chess coaching. Like I teach too, on site. Like my rule is, if you're at our Topical Chess Club, everything I teach you is free because that's part
That's
of our
so
nature.
good.
And then if you want to get better outside, then that's different. I charge accordingly because that's like my living.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's for lead chess to me is like that. They're here to
yeah,
grow chess. They average like what 5 million games a day. They have all these amazing tools.
yeah.
Like I didn't even know about Puzzle Racer because I kept playing on chess.com because I enjoy chess.com a lot too. Um, but right now I was chess.com is now making me a chess.com streamer. So right now I'm on Lead Chess, and to me I just swing. You just swing where the opportunity is. But I think they're
Yeah,
both great for different reasons. Like I feel like chess.com is a business, so it's in their intention to promote to make them bigger. That like
yeah,
at the end of the day, they are here to grow their share or profit shares for their
yeah,
stakeholders and stuff, and completely respectful because like they're creating such amazing programs and creating opportunities for streamers to make more
yeah.
money and become chess professionals. Like anyone who discounts chess.com is like in my mind a fool. Like they are
Mm,
great for chess and they're growing
yeah,
bigger. But Lee Chess is like that's like the people's champion. Like
yeah,
because they're here for everybody. They don't care if you're like I know their coaching section they only want ranked title players, but that's a good vetting process in my opinion. You know,
yeah,
hurts for me, but it's okay, it's fine. Um, but otherwise, they have such great tools at Lead Chess. Like, and you know what? That interface, I don't know why I can move so much faster on Lead Chess bullets than like I can do like 10 moves in like 1 minute on Lead Chess and
yeah,
chess.com. It's not as clean.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I know, but they've actually improved so much. It used to be worse a few years ago. That's why I didn't, because I just didn't enjoy the feel of playing. But actually now I really do love playing on chess.com. I like the feel of the piece movement.
yeah, chess. It's
Um
still really. I still enjoy it, and I still play on
yeah.
both. Like like I think like the one thing I really like about chess.com is I do like Puzzle Rush. Like I do,
Yeah.
especially puzzle survival. I think it's
Yeah.
actually a really great tool that I even use for coaching. And I don't usually recommend doing tactics for coaching, and that's a whole other topic we can talk about. But I will talk about certain tactics because if it came like from a game, I'll like use it as a reference. But I really like Puzzle Rush, especially survival. It's a very good test because it makes you practice thinking everything in your head and uh like testing your pattern recognition and stuff. Like it's over you're in a tournament, right? So I like that feel. Um, but yeah, I like the lead chess. So what I did today was I was just playing a tournament, and I got 2 more viewers all of a sudden because there was 34 people, and they saw me streaming
Yeah.
because it shows the icon.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, when I play for fun, I lose more than normal because I'm kind of being chilled. But when I play tournaments, I'm more locked in because that's the natural competitiveness of us, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing, even if it's like it's a tournament, it's like you just lock in a little bit better. So I figure, why not just play more tournaments on League Chess? Just try and find them, whether they're Rapid or Bullet or Blitz, and then they all see you streaming, and that's how you get viewers. But you know what's funny? I actually, when I was playing you before we were talking, I think I was playing a game where I think I was being stream sniped.
Oh yeah, that
Because
happens a
it was a
lot.
15. No, it was a 1,500 player. Or no, it was 1,400, and I was saying all the moves that he could have done. I swear he did every single one of them. And I
Yeah.
was like, "What is going on? I'm losing," and I lost the game. And I'm like,
Oh,
I
no.
can't remember the last time I lost to a 1,400 online in like 3-0. But
Yeah.
I was triggered. I'm like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "Oh, they," because I have no delay on, right? It's fine. I don't mind. I can get the rating back, but still, it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's funny because you can also just use it as like to if you can check if there's stream sniping because you can say, "Oh shit, I'm threatening this."
Oh,
And
you know what?
wait.
That's five head. I gotta consider throwing those curveballs. I have only
Yeah.
done it today. Last time I streamed was 2 days ago. One of my buddies in my local club challenged me to like 15 bullet games, and it was
Oh.
like, yeah, it was tough. What's your favorite time control online? Like, what is? I guess what's your favorite and what's your strongest?
Probably bullet is my strongest. And I think now 3+0 is my favorite, but I do really like bullet. I'm just out of practice because I've been playing so much classical chess that I haven't actually played as much bullet as I did before, but I
Mhm.
probably will get back into it. So bullet and 3+0,
Were
they're
you
my two favorite.
the classical games? Were it on the board or online?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you were
So
in a tournament recently then?
yeah, I played in Sitges in Spain,
Nice.
um, in December, and then I played from the 2nd to the 6th of January. I played in Stauffer Open, which is in Stuttgart. So actually, I live in Germany now for this year. I moved to
Oh, I didn't know
Germany.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So I moved because I finished university and I thought I would give full content creation a go. But I'm
Why
just
not?
not as disciplined as I have wanted to be. But I was like, okay, we have to try. But
Hmm.
um, so I played in this tournament, which so I played with my best friend Emma, who I met in. She's also a streamer. Shout out to Emma Showtime.
Hey,
Maybe you can get her on the
hey,
podcast.
I'm down to hear anyone's
Yeah, Emma would
journey.
love that. But we
Mhm.
met in Brazil at the World Championships in Brazil, and we've been friends ever since. So, well, actually, yeah, she's probably my closest friend. But she actually lives in Romania, so we don't see each other that often. But she
Mhm.
came over, for New Year's, and we played in this tournament. And we're actually gonna be official commentators and streamers of the tournament next year.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I would love to do commentary. Like, I
yeah,
think that's really fun, and that's a whole
it is.
other. That's a very difficult thing to do because it's one thing to explain moves, but
Yeah.
how do you draw the interest? And I'm like, do you go on Reddit a lot, like Reddit chess?
Not with chess. I use it for other things, but not
Yeah,
chess.
and I love Reddit in general. But Reddit chess, there's some really cool topics. That there was one topic they were talking about was like not content creators, sorry, commentators, and how to make it more engaging but not fake, like
Oh,
fake hype, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like, oh my god, he's taking that pawn, and it's just like the most common move you can do in that
yeah,
sequence. But how do you draw people to watch games with? You have to add some sort of flair or content to it, or sorry, commentary to it. So it's funny because I actually think that I think I would actually really enjoy it from more of a professional perspective, and I think it also ties to public speaking. So I
yeah.
would feel it more natural. But that's cool that you have that opportunity. Like, is that something that you want to do more of in general?
Uh, yeah. I think I would like a mix of everything. So, I mean, coming up in February now, it's my third year that I'm going to be commentating for the Sligo
Mm-hmm.
chess tournament, which is a weekender in Ireland, and every year they're improving on their setup. So now we also have a live cam.
Is this all on
So
live? Is this all on Twitch that you're going to be live commentary?
yeah, I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch, but the tournament is in Ireland, so it's live
Mhm.
in Ireland
Yes.
over the board. And last year they had like an analysis room where they had me projected there so they could see the commentary and they could follow the games like that.
Hell yeah, more content.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Mhm.
So I'm doing it again this year. And it's gonna be a little bit more professional. I have like the logo and everything um on the screen, and I'm gonna be doing it with Patrick as well, who also has Aphantasia, who I mentioned earlier. And I think, oh yeah, they're gonna have 100% live boards. So I think they're gonna have like 150 live boards.
They have all of them are going to be
Yeah,
DGT board.
all of them are gonna be DGT, all the
How much
different
money? Like,
sections.
oh, that's so much money. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's wow. Okay, Canada, we need to step up more because I haven't seen more than eight.
But this is like, I mean, we have most of our tournaments have live boards in Ireland, but it's never been like this where it's the first tournament ever in Ireland that's going to be 100% live boards. So this is like the one of their selling points of the tournament.
Are you
Um,
considered like? I just realized something. Like a thought came to my head. Are you considered like a celebrity sort of chess wise in Ireland?
well, I wouldn't consider myself that, but
But
Ireland is pretty small,
Mhm.
so I think most people would know me.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty. I mean, I guess yeah. But it's so small that yeah, they would know me, yeah.
Okay, okay, you gonna brush your shirt off your shirt a little bit, just double checking.
But I think most people who are chess players in Ireland are like also my friend Alice, I would say that she's but she's not so much. I think I'm kind of the only one like on social media.
Mhm.
Well, not but like streaming. Also there is Alex Lopez, but I guess he doesn't play as much anymore.
So you could
Um
say that for future Irelanders, I don't know if that's a word, that want to that love chess, that want to expand their chess into social media, or one day that you would be considered like an idol. Um, that's a way to
I
look.
don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
don't know about that. Uh,
Mhm.
well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe if I grow a little bit bigger.
What do you mean? It's when you said you gotta give yourself a year. You gotta, put. You're basically,
I
you're
know.
putting the fire all in. You're going to tournaments.
I know.
You're doing professional broadcasting. That's so big. Like, don't sell any. Like, again, I'm just getting to know you, but don't sell what you're saying is short. Like, you're doing things that most chess players wish they could have done. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky because I've had a lot of opportunities and I have a few like I have some titles that I can use,
Mhm.
which is what helped me. So I won the Worlds in 2017. I won the World Schools Championships. So then I got the WFM title, and then I was able to advertise myself from that.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's what helped me, and that's when I started streaming properly after that because I had WCM before that, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh no, I don't want to. I was a little bit embarrassed about it because well now because more players have gotten into chess that they realize how hard it is.
Is it like
Um,
is that 1800 FIDE or 1900? I can't remember.
uh, I think it's 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think you need to have a minimum. Now there is like a rating requirement which you need to have 1800, but I think it's 2000 to get it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Um, but I got it at the Olympiad.
Mhm.
So a lot of players get it at the Olympiad, but it's the lowest title, so a few people were making fun of me for having it.
Oh,
So all I
wow.
wanted to do was get rid of it. So once I
Oh
got
my
WFM, I was like,
god.
okay.
You have
Um,
see, one of my motivations was to get 2200, not because there's no title for FIDE for that, but because I just want to become an NM in Canada so I could,
there's CM.
or no, I was talking about for CFC.
Oh
Yeah,
right,
yeah, I
yeah.
wasn't
FIDE
thinking about
is,
because I just want to
uh,
get I just want to be in Title Tuesdays. I just want to battle like
yeah.
I can never get in there, honestly. go hard and try again. But no, that's cool that yeah, WCO WFM. Okay, I didn't know an exact rating requirement of it. What is the CM? CM is like 2100 FIDE, right?
I think
For in general.
it's 2200. WFM is
Oh,
2100.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's strong,
So
man. Jeez.
yeah,
So you said 150 DGT boards. Everything's live. You're going to be commentating for the third year. Um,
yeah.
how do you find commentary as a professional commentator yourself? Like how is it? Like
I really
I want to tap
enjoy
into
it.
your brain. Yeah. Like,
I really enjoy it. I mean, I don't think it's as so different from streaming.
mhm.
I think um well, it's different. It depends like how professional you are, but okay, now I think it's going to be a bit more professional than it was maybe at the beginning, but also um we're still trying to appeal to beginners too and to make it accessible, so it's not going to be um like grandmaster commentary.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
a hard balance because I know sometimes and I'll look at it from a biased perspective. I'm watching like a commentator, like they'll mention something like, "Oh, and this is main in one. If he did this, that's why you're not supposed to do that." And in my mind, I'm like, I already know this. Like, I don't want to hear it. But I keep
yeah,
forgetting. Most of the audience is like probably 1,200 rating or less.
yeah,
They need to. That's valid information for them.
yeah, and we're going to be, because every board is live. I mean, we are going to focus a lot as well on the master section, but the lower sections are probably going to have like the more exciting chess that that people. Well, actually, I mean, it's exciting, like also in the masters, but it's going to be like chess that will probably get more of a reaction out of us. Um, so that's where I think I will struggle to be fake with my excitement because I will be like, why the heck did they take the pawn?
Well, no, you could be legit. Like I remember Hikaru and Alevi way back when Alevi was like starting to grow online. They would do a lot of sub battles, and they would
Yeah,
just watch like 600s. No offense, 600s, but they'll watch
yeah,
600s go main one 7 times against each other.
yeah,
And I think like to me that's legit emotion, man. Because I
yeah, it
it's hard for
is.
me to watch, and
Yeah,
I just can't wait because I know what will happen when I'll start having my own small following that I can start challenging streamers to sub battles.
yeah,
I got some 2200s like locked in my corner too. Like I can pull them out, but I just want to see those 800 games and just us freaking out. Like, oh man, like it's gonna be torture, but it's lovely torture. It's like you
yeah.
can't resist. You need more of it. But yeah, to me that's commentary, right? Like literally.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah,
good.
yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah. So I've done that with I do it with sub battles and I get really into it and I actually feel bad because I get really mad. I call them
Yeah.
yeah.
Get really mad. No,
Uh,
no, no! You gotta let it out. That's what the audience wants to see. They want to see
yeah.
digital chess blood just coming out of the chess streamer. Oh god.
Yeah, I get really mad. I'm like a lot of actually I think like some of them don't even want to play anymore because of how much pressure I put on them.
Oh no! There's a difference between being angry and putting pressure on. You can't put.
Well,
You're putting.
it's because I need to win, like our
Oh
team.
no!
So they're Diana's darlings, and every time I'm like, darlings, you gotta win this.
Oh
So
no!
a
Oh
lot like a few of
no!
my friends,
Yeah.
my friend Emma, she plays for, she played in it twice already, but she plays such bad chess when she's playing it because she knows how. I'll be even more upset if I know you because I know your strength and I know what you can
Yes.
do, and I don't care if you're if like I'm not that I don't care if I hurt your feelings, but we're friends, so like there's a
Yeah.
different dynamic. But
You could trash them without hurting them. That's like.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So she gets like really she gets really angry at me because of how much pressure I put on her. So like she also streams when she's doing it. She's like, "Oh no, Diana's gonna get really mad at me," and then she plays badly.
Oh, you see, that would be a great YouTube moment, like a like
Yeah.
a short where you're just like Here's my idea for you. You're gonna take this right now. It's gonna happen in 1 week. You're like raging, and then one of your streamers is like, "Please don't hurt me. Like I'm trying to, I'm trying to win for you." And that's a
Yeah.
good short. You would get like thousands of views just like that. Done.
Yeah, I
Easily.
just need to edit it.
Well, you know
That's
what?
the problem.
Shorts are really easy to edit. It takes me.
But I don't know how to do like I don't know how to make them vertical.
I can tell you that right now. So I use something called Demo Creator, which you can use it for free, but I obviously pay for it now because I don't want any. I just it's an investment for me. And what you do is you take the video and then you change the settings so it comes out as a vertical 16:8, like Instagram or YouTube shot, and then you just make sure the video fits in it, and then you can just run it off and it takes 2 minutes and upload it. It's I did it all the time with all these. Like you're gonna be in shorts, and like when I go through this for the 15th time, like looking
But
for.
oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I guess like you mean like it's still like wide frame.
So I'll give you an
But I
example.
don't know how to do it.
So I did two of them. So when I was doing Mark's and myself
Oh
shorts,
yeah, I know what you
we
mean. Yeah.
did two different types because I did the one where it shows our full screen, like the whole takes,
Yeah.
and it didn't get that many views because it looked a little weird. So what I did was I just kept the same format and I just zoomed in on his face, and then I
Okay.
and then I would take my face and I'd put it on the top, and it would just flip back and forth,
Yeah, that's what I
and
need.
it takes like
Yeah.
5 minutes. Like
Okay.
so, shorts is the easiest one. It's the clips that
Okay.
actually are more annoying. But I think I need to keep doing everything because I think
Yeah.
that just makes sense. Because I had a couple of people talk to me when they watched the podcast that they like the seeing some of the like I like the Joe Rogan style where he posts certain clips of certain topics that are like over a few minutes, and so you have an idea of what the podcast is, and then you hopefully you want to hear it more, and then the whole podcast comes out. And then the
Yeah.
shorts are just for the viral funny stuff, like
Yeah.
us talking about I don't know. I already know there's gonna be so many. There's like I can already think of all the shorts that are coming. It's gonna be
Great.
hilarious. Yeah, but the shorts
That's
are the
good.
easiest. Thank God, it doesn't take that long to. The
Okay.
clips are annoying because you have to if they're high def, you're like 1080 whatever. They're gonna take like 50 minutes to upload, and
Yeah.
shorts 2 minutes done. Um,
Yeah. I guess yeah, I need to try because I downloaded CapCut and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it on CapCut and then I just spent so long like trying to figure it out. I was like, and I gave up
So
because I
maybe you
didn't
might
know.
want to try Demo Creator because I don't know. It's not the greatest. Like it's not like Premiere, which is like the number one editing program.
Yeah.
But from a YouTube clips perspective, it's simple. It's like,
Okay.
and I'm pretty good with technology, but I didn't want to learn a whole entire software
Yeah.
just to do YouTube. Like even
Yeah.
OBS, just figuring it out is like, oh, okay,
Yeah, I
but I
know.
gotta do it. But no, the clips was the easiest thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look
You got the
into
game
it.
plan. It's already too. I'm gonna message you a week later and be like, "How's your shorts
Okay.
going?" Oh, don't worry. Hey, if you need accountability, buddy, you'll be added to the list. And then you can like mess me a week later. It's like, Matt, I haven't seen you do your fitness stream yet. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so put me on blast on that because I really want to do that because I want to get fit and
I think there's definitely a market in chest fitness because it's like
mm.
combining the mind and body.
You know
Everyone
what?
wants
I
to.
think okay. Here's my. I'm see you guys here right now, and you're listening in. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the. I want to do like a 6 a.m. wake up, do the fitness stuff,
Oh!
and then in the evening do chess, and then go to bed and do that again. Because I can't. I
Oh,
can't do it at midday. I have too many lessons.
6 a.m.
Yeah, gotta be. Well, I used to wake up.
No.
No, I used to wake up at 6 a.m. for work, like corporate work.
Oh
So.
no. I wake up at 12.
Ah!
I wake up very late.
No! You can't. Oh, wait. What time do you go to bed though? I guess that's the real question.
Well, depend. I mean, maybe like an average of 2 a.m.
That's fine. That's normal. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's fine. Because I need to go to bed
Yeah,
at
but it's
11
not
or.
good. It's not productive because like I'll watch a movie and then I mean usually my streams go on quite late and then it's hard to I can't like fall asleep straight away so I'll watch something and I eat pretty late because I eat after the stream. But I really need to get into a schedule of waking up early.
Mhm.
I just struggle. I struggle. That's the sleep is my worst
Well, I think.
like
Mhm.
habit.
I think let's talk about self development for a second, like from a chess perspective. Like for me, I get distracted I don't know if I have AD. I'm pretty sure I don't have that, but like I get distracted a lot when I'm in this
Yeah.
setting. Like when I the best time I'm productive is when in between chess lessons, whether I'm going somewhere or I'm doing something online. Um, I'll go and like to a Starbucks and write my blogs or
Oh, that's good.
message like the next 20 streamers to try to come on my podcast because I'm basically cold calling because no
Yeah.
one knows who I am for now. I know I'll grow over time, and I know that dynamic will change because I know there will be a day where someone will message me and be like, "Can I come on your podcast?" And
Yeah.
I'm gonna like frame that email and like that's gonna be like it's gonna be like right here. It'll be like my motivation, like that I'm doing. I made it to now. Someone actually wants to come on. Um, but I had to like cut off like a lot of things like games and stuff. Like I used to be a hardcore gamer when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, like I used to love like Unreal Tournament and stuff like that. The terrible League of Legends game. Oh god, I used to.
I want to start that because I think it's good streaming
It
content.
is good. It's good. It's definitely good streaming content. Like League of Legends is a big one. Hearthstone, all that stuff. And I literally uninstalled everything. I
Really?
got rid of everything because if I'm all in with my business on all the
Yeah.
different avenues of chess, I can't have that distract me. What I
Yeah.
instead of me playing like one game I love that right I still love is like Apex. Like I love that type of dynamic. Like you're playing with different characters but that 2 hours of me playing Apex for fun, which is great, could be 2 hours of streaming content, which could be having fun on chess, which could promote my coaching and everything else. Like it's it's very clear in my mind when I look at it that way that there's only one right answer.
But you
So
can also stream those.
I could, but I want to stick strictly to chess because I'm
Oh,
like to me I'm very small right now. Like I may
yeah.
be a Twitch affiliate, but like I don't have like all my normal followers I had in the past or I checked the dates. They never come back on Twitch. So I'm essentially starting new again, and I'd rather just stick to chess because
Yeah.
in other games, like I think for every video game it's the same. You either watch for the entertainment or for the skill level of the person. So for me, I think the only way I'm going to draw people for now, like from the outside, is skill. You see 2300
Yeah.
bullet. Oh, I want to see that person play. And I thank God I'm 2300 because I would have a harder time if I wasn't. But then hopefully they stay for the personality.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think you have a very like friendly nature that
It
and
is my
charismatic.
strength. I try, but it comes naturally. I think that's another thing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, from a self development perspective, I need to wake up earlier because I really need to hit the gym because like I need the sleep active stuff to go away. And I know
Yeah.
with like my recent increase of weight from like a while back, like I know that's probably well, I'm sure it's a bigger factor. So, and that's stuff you can like. Thank God I'm like otherwise healthy. Like that's something I could actually change. But I thought about it, like if I do, like because I was watching GM Canty James do this fitness streaming, and I'm like, why can't I do that? And
Yeah.
then between reps of like resting, I just talk to viewers, and then I just grind out because I already know how to do the gym. Like I know all the different workouts. I know how to do it properly and safely. It's just motivating myself. But I realize
Yeah.
motivating is a bad way of thinking. It's all about discipline and consistency.
Mhm.
I know it's being harsh on myself, but you know, I need to change now before I become a walking, talking, or like something happens to me health wise. So why not have some fun with it? I just didn't know if chess fitness worked out, and then I don't know. You're telling me this, I'm like, damn, I gotta do it now. Like,
I definitely think there's more because you can just like you can also you can stream from from your phone. So you can just put it up on Streamlabs or even like directly from Twitch you can stream on your phone, but then afterwards you can even just do like puzzles in your break. And then you can just like share your screen with chess puzzles.
oh, I didn't. So I use Streamlabs. I found it very. I've used it years ago, so I just kept with it. I was trying to use OBS. I switched to OBS to debate if I wanted to do multi-streaming, like between YouTube and Twitch, and run them both live. But I came to the conclusion I just want to keep YouTube for podcasts, and
Yeah.
then keep Twitch as Twitch, which is like everything. Um, yeah, I need to. I need to download Streamlab apps and figure out how to get this going. Cause
Yeah, it's not difficult at all.
all right, I'm giving myself a week, and you're gonna see it one day. I'll be lifting
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
I'll be asking.
No,
I'll be following through.
I'm holding each of us accountable. Um, but yeah, it also depends like on the person too. Like some people are night owls. Some people are like they love morning productivity. I think it's just trying to find a way that works for our chemistry. And
Yeah.
but I've naturally heard that waking up early is usually a good thing for productivity. Because I know I'm laughing, like you're laughing, I'm laughing too. Because I'm more of a night owl. I know that now, but I do know that when I wake up in the morning and I do stuff, I do sense a feel of accomplishment right off the bat when I get stuff done, like check emails.
But do you not get really tired during like I get really if I haven't had enough sleep, I get so tired and I can't function for the rest of the day.
Yeah, well, so with the sleep apnea machine, for me, it's like I have to discipline myself to go to bed at a certain time at night. Like maybe 12 a.m. is the latest I should, because then I get 6 hours of sleep, and for me, 6 hours is okay. But if I do 6 hours every single day, I think that's gonna get worse over because it's like you're losing all that energy over the long run. I think the average human being should be getting 7 hours minimum. Um, so yeah, either way, like gotta work out in the morning. But if it's like 9 a.m., you don't want to work out because there's like gym and stuff, and or there's like emails and videos
Yeah.
you gotta look at. It's like a lot of self learning.
Well, if you love it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Like if you love, well, I don't know if love is the biggest motivator or the biggest discipline thing, but I think just trying to do something you're passionate about, and I think that's the first step, and then have a plan, like kind of like what your dad
Yeah.
did with giving you a schedule. It's like kind of like a schedule for us. When you hit 10 a.m., that's it's all business and chess, and whether it's streaming or coaching or podcasting or broadcasting stuff like that. But before then, there could be some me time where it's like read a book or look up emails while having a nice coffee or go for a jog or stuff like that. I think you do it consistently. Suddenly, well, so for example, my blogging, like I can't believe I'm doing blogging still. I would never consider myself a blogger. I'm just not really that wasn't really my thing. Like I like reading. I love reading. But I never would think I would ever write anything from a blog perspective. And now I'm 5 blogs in. I've managed to get one out every 3 days. Some even
Oh,
two
that's
days.
good.
Yeah, and it's like now I have this like feeling where like I need to write another topic. I need to write another topic.
Oh, that's
So
great.
it's now already there. It's in my head. I've rewired myself. Where last night I was hanging out with a friend, and she was doing like her graphics design, and I was working on my blog. Even this morning, I just posted it like before we talked. I'm like, I gotta get this blog done before I see Deanna. Like I'm like, gotta get it done no matter what. So
That's so good.
I've created some sort of urgency with the blogging, which is only going to get better because I've noticed I've been reading some of the bigger bloggers, like they're usually they're titled. That kind of helps, but I've been reading their blogs. Some of them are excellent content. I love it, but every time they write a view from like 12 months ago, it's increased dramatically. So I think it does make sense. It does correlate to you write content, you make it consistent, it gets bigger. Twitch is
Yeah.
probably the same thing too. You
Yeah.
gotta change the variety a little bit or something, but for the most part, I think it just gets bigger over time. I think.
Yeah.
I like to think that. I
Yeah.
don't know. You've done this way longer than I have, so but I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is for you to be consistent.
Yes. So hence why, after I run my chess club tonight, we're gonna go back online for probably 3-4 hours of more bullet torture. Or blitz. We'll see. Yeah. But I know
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I was planning on streaming as well. I mean, I'll see how I feel after this.
Don't worry, I'll make sure I'll challenge you. And then I'll put a webcam. I'll put myself live, and you can use me as a short when I'm like freaking out or in a position.
Sure.
Or you know what we could do? We could do a first since you love bullet, we could do a first to 100 series.
Whoa, that's so much.
Yeah, it'll be like well, that's on the comment. You know how much content that would be? Like 8 hours of bullet straight.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I actually I always challenge friends to do that, but we never get a chance to do it. We're just because we're like that's probably a bad idea. doing 100
Yeah, I
games.
think that's a bad idea.
It would be
Maybe.
it'd be a
Yeah.
good title though. Like I just went
Yeah.
100 game. I just went best of 100 with someone. Boom, right on YouTube, and you have like an edited version of you, like just like with fire in your eyes, just like playing. Like, yeah. I'm not the most creative person, but I do okay.
No, I think that's yeah, I probably will die during it, but yeah. I
Or like
think
collapse, or like it's
it,
over.
it's not bad. Not a bad idea if you want to do it.
Oh yeah, 100 sounds catchy, but I think realistically it'll be like first to 20. I think that's more doable. That's like 2 hours or less.
I mean, I think if that's like the planned thing that you're gonna do for, yeah,
Oh, I
I
can't
mean,
wait
I
to
could definitely do it.
I can't wait to challenge every chess streamer. Like I don't mind losing, that's fine, but I just want to. It'll just get me. I like the competitive part of
Yeah.
locking in and like focusing, and then like for example, I was playing my friend 2 days ago, and he's gotten so much better. Like over the years I've known him at the ECC, he beat me first 5 games in bullet, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I've never been adopted in 5 like ever, but like he's already beat me, and I'm like, usually I get like in the old days I would be like 75-25 in our games. Now it's like, and then the last time we played it was like 50-50. He just beat me 5 games in a row, so we had like 27, 28 games of bullet. I got it down to like 1 game he was ahead, and then we stopped because a viewer wanted to look at his game, and I'm like, okay, let's look at his game. That's fun. But yeah, we were like locked in, and I was like adjusting, and I like that stuff. Like like you're adjusting your game plan and like switching up the openings, trying to trip them out. It's all in bullet too, so yeah, I like that. It's fun. Until I can get back into
Yeah.
classical chess, I gotta take whatever I can, like competitive wise.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's fun, especially well, it's you need to like get ahead, especially when you're losing, like you feel like you need to do it, so you just
Yes.
get into the zone.
Yes, the zone. Yes, we. It's hard to describe the zone, but we all know it.
Yeah.
Do you still do? You mentioned a bit about chess coaching. Do you do chess coaching right now? Like, is that your main thing, or
Yeah.
so? Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about like how many, like not necessarily numbers, but like, do you do coaching more online, or do you do it more in person? Do you work with like a school or a company, or do you like just do everything like strictly on you? Like,
Yeah, so I mean coaching is my main source of income.
mhm.
And I've been coaching like for quite some time now because my dad runs his chess club. So ever since like maybe the first time I started doing lessons to like a group was when I was 14, like showing my games.
Mhm.
So I would come back from a tournament and then he'd be like, okay, like come in and show everyone a game, or do a lesson with a new beginner that came in, or even someone who is more advanced and wants to have some one-on-one. And then um, I just uh, so when I lived in Ireland, I was teaching in schools,
Mhm.
and that's what I was used to. But I've always had actually my first online student was during COVID. He messaged me and asked if I am taking any students, and then I was kind of like that was the first time that was the
Nice.
first time someone asked me, and I was really nervous. Like I guess you know how it is the first time someone asks you, and then I was like, oh
Yes.
no, like I felt like an imposter because I was like, what can they learn from me? Like I have nothing. They can just like
Oh, you
learn.
have like imposter syndrome when you're a competitive chess player. Oh God.
But it's different because
Mhm.
it's different being a coach because there's so much out there. Everything is online. That why would they be paying you when they can just get the information off YouTube? But I mean, same like if I want to get a personal trainer, it's
Yes.
more someone there to um well, to keep you motivated, to encourage you, and to teach you things that maybe you might have heard before, but it's in a different way. Like everyone has their own style of learning.
Mhm.
So from then I built up my confidence, and now I have like a few regular students. And I really enjoy it. because everyone is so different with their teaching, and it's a different side of me that I get to learn. And then if something like, well, you just have to improve on the way that you maybe teach a certain topic. If it doesn't work, then that's what I like about teaching, is that it's never them that is in the wrong. Like, you can never get really a bad student. It's more a bad teacher. So if they can't pick something up, you just need to explain it in a better way. But yeah, I really enjoy teaching. It's just a different side to chess, and I also enjoy it because I get to do it in a different way how it was done to me. So I already know what I don't like. Especially with kids,
90%
I
less
teach a lot.
pressure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like you can also have productive pressure. So I have a few kids that I teach. So I teach all ages. And there are a few kids that are taking it seriously, and they've won. Actually, they won their first tournaments a few weeks ago. They won,
Hey, very good,
yeah,
very nice.
which was really exciting. But the way that I motivate them to keep, it's how I would have liked to teach myself when I was younger, or like someone how I would have liked someone to teach me. So that's what I like about it, is that I'm able to um I'm able to, yeah, not continue the mistakes that were done before. So just learning from that and
No,
seeing how it works to the kids, yeah.
no, that makes a lot of sense. Like I teach full time too. Like I'm on all the other things, and I find like to me my greatest strength is knowing when to communicate it in a way that they'll understand.
Yeah.
Even especially the small details.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge. It's a nice challenge because sometimes they just don't get it, and you're like, okay, how do I, what metaphor or what scenario or what position can I do
Yeah.
just to figure this out with them, and then it can click, and I always I tend to try and look for more competitive players, like if they want to play their first CFA or CFC tournament or FIDE tournament or um, but otherwise I'll try and teach anyone. Like my oldest student is, I think he's in his 80s, and he just wants to
Yeah.
get better at
Yeah.
understanding middle games because he has a hard time coming up with a plan. Which I get that. Like if you study online or study openings and stuff, it's very good. It's not that hard to study an opening, but knowing what to do afterwards, that's a whole other dimension of
Yeah.
consideration and thinking. And 1400's like, I don't know if they're just strong. I don't know if they know how to make a plan yet. Like I know they're good at avoiding major blunders, but you know the planning is tough. Like usually, I feel like 1500 or higher. That's when you start having to really increase your knowledge of chess. But yeah, anyone 80 age, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think chess coaching right now is like I don't know I can't tell if it's growing more or not, but I think it's so necessary if you want to get better. Like I think it's very rare to do self taught. Like it's like first of all you have to have the motivation and the discipline and the passion and all that stuff. But I think coaching is definitely needed if you want to be competitive and you want to get better quicker. Because being better quicker is actually better. I think it snowballs to more opportunity or because I feel like after we have all these kids now that they're all like calculating machines. They don't have
Yeah.
any. They don't have any biases. They just go like they just see a path and you just go down the whole path through like the calculating line. And for us, like the older we get, the more bias we have of chess, and the harder for us to transform our thinking to like the best type of thinking. So that's why we need coaches to clear the bias out. Be like, no, this is not the right way to think this way. You got to think this way because this
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, and E. The kid, you just be like, do this, and they just do it. It's just like super
Yeah.
engine, right? Um, I remember I played an 8-year-old. He was like 2200. I was just, I was so demoralized. Even though I don't mind losing to a kid, but like just to have a kid like that strength. Oh,
I mean, there are
times have
it's
changed.
I mean, it's also it's always been like that kind of too, because there's always been like up and coming kids.
Hmm. What would
Um,
you recommend for newer chess players, like how to get better? If they let's say they don't have access to a coach, which is probably the fastest way to get better, arguably, what would you recommend to them?
uh, well, I mean, there's so many resources. I think the first thing is that you want to get an opening repertoire, but not learn off theory, but just know the ideas so that you know how to start the game. So have an opening for white and black that you know well, like you know the ideas and plans of, because then you
Hmm.
can go into the middle game knowing what to do and knowing the basic end games, like well, knowing your checkmates
Yeah.
inside out, like with the rook, queen. I mean, bishop and knight is kind of tough. I still struggle with that.
Yeah, I've never had a game yet where it ended that way because usually they'll probably resign. Hopefully, but yeah, I think it's what 37 moves minimum, like to get the checkmate, assuming they're playing the best
Yeah,
moves. I think that's like
yeah,
yeah, like I know the concept, but just like to do it would be like oh god, like it'd be very very painful.
yeah. If you, I guess, like when you have that game and when it comes up, and if you don't know how to do it, you'll learn it and then you'll know it forever. But until that day comes, I guess there's not much motivation to learn it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so having a repertoire, which will help you in the middle game. Tactics are always going to be a mandatory thing. So doing at least like 15 minutes a day, you want to do like tactics are always going to be the consistent thing. Um, to
Hmm.
keep your brain sharp, and then um, yeah, knowing I guess the ideas of your openings, and then you can just expand from there. You can always uh change your openings later if it's not something that suits you, but you want to know something because there's so many traps that you can fall into, and then like calculating from there, it's just going to be a lot of hassle that you don't want to deal with.
You know, actually, it's funny that you mentioned chess traps because I love how the most viral videos on YouTube or Instagram are traps,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at these things, and I'm like, I don't know the name of any of them, but I would never fall into any of these like ever, like because but
Yeah.
they're so apparently they're like there's a percentage of people that do fall for these traps, but I just don't see them in the game ever. Like even when I was like 1500, I never ran into traps. Like I would lose to blunders and stuff, but I don't know. It's just there's some crazy
Yeah,
traps out
yeah,
there. It's
yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, I have actually fallen for a few like Stafford Gambit traps.
yeah,
And
I don't even know.
like on
I probably know if I see it, but I don't know the name of it.
the Eric Rosen was famous for it. I mean, I have, and England Gambit as well, which is D4 E5.
All the time we have for today. I can't believe we talked. That was a long talk, but I know I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Yeah, I did.
How can anyone, visit you on Twitch? Like, what's your channel? What's your do you use Instagram, YouTube, etc.? Like, how can they get more of your content?
So thank you for having me also. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to watching your channel grow.
Thank you.
And you can so you can follow me on Twitch with my full name. It's just Diana Mirza. And then my Instagram is also Diana Mirza, but without an I because my name was taken.
No,
Uh
you gotta take it back from them.
yeah, but it's okay. Actually, like probably I mean it's the same, it sounds the same, Mirza, but without the I it still sounds like Mirza.
Hmm.
Um, so on Instagram and X or Twitter, it's also Diana Mirza, same as Instagram without the I. But yeah, on chess.com and lichess, it's my full name. So I was able to keep that one.
Secure it.
um, yeah, so
Hmm. Do you have a
thanks
main
for
website or?
not yet.
Oh, you might. Then you got to secure that domain first. That's probably.
Actually have. I secured them before I even started anything.
Oh, there. Then you're good.
But I haven't. Nothing has come out of it yet. I mean, yeah. But for now, I'm sticking to Twitch, and hopefully YouTube is coming soon.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for coming on. And for any other content, you can come up on Journus on the YouTube channel. We're on Spotify, and look forward to getting to know more chess streamers and their chess journey. See you, everyone.
Thank you.
You're
See
welcome.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.